Tonight's guests are Marvin Leeper and Michael Waldie.
Looking back on the life that you're leaving, let it rest in a hole in the ground. Stick around for the great revealing, or the fire you've been dancing around. All we hear is the sound of retreating. No one cares where you're coming from. My ears are still ringing and beating. I guess we all knew from the start. These are the days my heart goes numb. Yeah, one of these days will be the one. Looking for answers. What a disaster. These are the days my heart goes numb. My heart goes numb. Reading the fumes of the ashes, the spirits light up the night. Looking down the
Now, we're live from the Untold Radio Network. It's Untold Radio AM with Monster Quest producer, host Doug Hajicek, and co-host Jeff Perrella Jr. Untold Radio AM is going live right now.
This show is for entertainment purposes only. Yep, that's the ticket. Now here are your Untold Radio AM hosts, Doug Hajicek and Jeff Perrella Jr.
And here we are.
Hey, I was going to let you talk first. I don't know why. I don't like to talk first.
It's all right. Hello, everyone. Good to
But
see you all.
yeah, hello. And good evening. It's been a last-minute rush
Yeah,
around here at the Untold Radio Network for
a little bit of a scramble. We got it ready to go.
Yeah, it's a scramble. That's the way to put it. Anyhow, so good evening, all of the people in chat. all of the
Untoldians.
Untoldians. And all the people from around the globe that are tuned
really
in
is.
right now,
People from
this
everywhere.
moment. Yes. Hello. Welcome to episode 291,
291. Yeah, wow. Creeping up to
March.
300.
March 29th. That date doesn't even sound like it exists. It's just about the name, March 29th. I don't know.
It's all made up.
It just sounds fake to me. I was
It's a
like, I don't know. Is
conspiracy.
there a 29 and the 29th in March? Didn't sound right. Anyhow, so yeah, tonight you're going to definitely want to grab some popcorn. We've got a very, very fresh guest. And then another guest that doesn't do a lot of podcasting, Michael Waldie. And we have Marvin Leeper on tonight.
Looking forward to
Who's-
talking to him.
He's an academic.
Mhm.
Does Bigfoot research. So
Yep, smart guys.
and even gets to, I think he gets to teach a little bit to his students.
That's
Or he
awesome.
did. I think he just retired. So anyhow,
Cool. Looking forward to talking to him. That'd be fun.
so definitely, yeah, grab your comfy chair, grab your favorite beverage, not like Jeff does.
Never
I've got mine. I've got my diet.
I've got my water.
Untouched virgin.
Water
diet,
as always.
Zero root beer.
All but one time.
Ah.
Water.
Yeah, the reason we were scrambling, we had a guest just like canceled the last moment.
Yeah, that's always interesting.
Yeah. It's just like, sure, no problem. That's not, I mean, things happen,
Yeah,
don't they?
always.
Just as long as you never cancel,
Me? No.
we're good.
You'd have to be a pretty serious physical emergency for me to not be here.
So anyhow, we're going to delve deep and try to talk about Bigfoot in both Oklahoma and Texas. And these guys are like right out of the bullpen, man.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee there's going to be hay on their shoulders. Right,
Love it.
right, Michael? Oh man. Okay. Let's see. What else do we got? We've got Adam Colt joining us for another amazing tech breakdown that only Adam can do.
Yeah, looking forward to that too.
He's in the back room shaking his head. Oh, he's shaking it. Yes. Full confidence. Thumbs up from Adam from the green room. And what else do we have? We're going to do our fake as funk news or clips. Fake as funk clips. Fake or funk.
Fake
or funk.
That's right.
Yeah, there we go. And we got clip picks and all sorts of stuff. So let's get this episode 291 underway.
All right, first up, weird and fast news.
It's time for weird and fast news. Yeah! It's time for weird and fast news.
It's a weird and fast bumper.
I think we need to change it to weird and super fast news.
Yeah.
Could you do that? Could you arrange that?
I'll work on it.
All right. First up, Mars has answers to these spiderweb-like patterns. So there's new theories now on these things. They do look odd, right? They look almost biological.
Yeah.
You know, like it's
That's
some kind of a disease on the surface. But apparently these, strange spider-like formations spotted on Mars are now raising new questions about the red planet's past. Scientists say these patterns may be formed by seasonal carbon dioxide ice. Okay. But their unusual appearance continues to spark debate. Why would that cause that ice? I mean, that's so weird. It looks like, to me, what does it look like? It looks like somebody sawed the trees off. And the roots.
Yeah, it's definitely odd looking.
They look like roots to me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you? No.
It looks like water. I don't know, it's just weird. It's a weird pattern.
But those are raised. I don't know. It reminds me of tree roots. It says, while not direct evidence of life, these structures highlight how alien Mars truly is, combined with the recent discoveries of organic molecules. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Researchers are increasingly convinced, including Adam, that Mars may have once had conditions suitable for life. Right, Adam?
It seems likely, and Adam agrees, yeah.
Yeah, Michael doesn't agree. Likely. No, Michael, he's like, no way.
Who knows?
Let's see, what else we got? By the way, I got to go on a bike ride right before the show.
Nice.
It's so nice. And tomorrow it's going to be even better. And then it's going to go back to 30-degree weather again.
Ugh.
We're going to have a bunch of storms on Tuesday.
Not fun.
It's going to drop. So might even snow on Tuesday.
No, thank you. I'm done with that stuff.
This roller coaster. All right. Scientists reverse biological aging finally in human cells. Get in line, Jeff.
I just want my hair back.
Researchers have made a major breakthrough by successfully reversing biological aging in human cells using advanced reprogramming technologies, carefully resetting certain cellular markers without turning the cells into stem cells. So this is pretty promising. Sorry, I have to partake in my root beer. I just drooled on myself. I missed one hole, missed the other hole. Okay, it says they were able to make older cells behave like younger cells. Once again, it says early lab results show improved cell function, reduced damage, and signs of rejuvenation at a molecular level. So there we go. It's coming.
What could go wrong?
Yeah, you just keep getting younger and younger and younger and younger until it's like the Benjamin Button. Isn't that what happened? Yeah, it was Benjamin Button. He got younger. He started out old and he got really young.
I think so.
Yeah. And I get deja vu every time I look at this story. Octopus. Oh, here we go again with the octopi. Octopus.
It's octopuses.
All
We
this
looked it up.
crap that you come up with. Octopus, octopi.
I can't be trusted.
No, it can't be. Octopus caught riding a shark in a rare ocean hitchhiker moment. That's an actual picture.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff swam down to get that.
Yeah, I'm a dubious source.
Dubious. Marine researchers recently captured footage of an octopus gripping onto a shark and riding it through the open water going, yippee-yi-yay. Something rarely, if ever, documented.
That's amazing.
I love this one. The octopus appeared to be calm and in control. What the hell does a calm and in control octopus look like? Come on.
Just chilling, having the time of his life.
Goodness. It says it was using its tentacles to hold on as the shark swam freely. Scientists aren't entirely sure why the behavior has occurred. It may be a survival tactic. So apparently maybe octopuses ride on sharks all the time. Right?
That's cool as heck.
We didn't notice. That'd be my guess.
They're aliens.
They're aliens, I agree. New deep sea species living on sunken wood. It's another picture Jeff took today.
Yeah, I was out in the ocean this morning.
It took him.
Just got back.
And he did it right in his clothing.
Mm-hmm.
He dove 5,500 meters down, holding his breath.
I had a busy day.
Yeah. A newly identified deep sea mollusk has been discovered living exclusively on sunken wood, nearly 5,500 meters beneath the ocean's surface. The species, go ahead, Jeff, pronounce that word. Oh, yeah, you see it there. Perrella
populi?
It looks like Ferrari.
Perrella populi. I don't know.
There you go. It belongs to a rare group of organisms that depend entirely on wood that sinks to the ocean floor. There's something for everybody. Right?
Life finds a way. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, everybody's got, oh God, wait till you hear our weird and fast news today. It's the creepiest one we've ever done. Scientists discover a breathing seafloor that pulses like a living organism. Can you kind of move the picture up and down so we can get that pulsing effect? Scientists, yeah, there it is.
Just like that.
Poor man's animation right there. Oh, God. Okay. Scientists studying the deep oceans have discovered sections of the seafloor that appear to breathe, slowly expanding and contracting as fluids move through underground rock layers. Using advanced sensors, researchers observe rhythmic pulses, almost like a heartbeat. Apparently, it's caused by pressure changes.
Just like this.
Yeah, exactly.
It's exactly what happens right there.
Now,
Slide video.
That is real learning going on right there. It says, well, it's not completely geological. It's not alive. It blurs the line between living and non-living systems, reminding scientists that the Earth itself can behave in ways that feel almost biological. There you go. All right. Speaking of biologics, giant organic molecules found on Mars. Yeah, you see how big they are, Jeff?
That gigantic, yeah.
They're that big.
Yeah. Amazing.
It's an exaggeration, folks. They're not that big. But they are long. And this is what's interesting. Scientists,
and it moves just like this.
Exactly. We finally figured out how to animate our pictures. Scientists have identified the largest organic molecules ever discovered on Mars. Now I'm thinking, are they longer than any ones on Earth? I don't know. These are long carbon chains that may be fragments of fatty acids. It says these compounds are often associated with, associated with biological processes on Earth. While not proof of life, this discovery strengthens the case that Mars once had chemistry needed to support living organisms. There you go. Do that animation one more time, Jeff.
Do I get extra credit now as an animator?
Hell yeah. You get an animation award. Oh, my God. That's what happens, folks, when you have no budget.
We multitask.
Yeah. Next, a rare deep sea whale has finally been seen alive. Apparently, they knew about these just through their bones and a carcass that washed up. But they've never seen one alive. So here we go. It's an interesting story. For the first time.
Look at it swim. It's swimming.
Yeah, look at this. God. Oh, my God. Only on Untold you get to see animation.
I'm not going to get tired of that. That's state-of-the-art animation right there.
No. Okay, for the first time ever, scientists have confirmed sightings of a rare tusk. The keyword tusk. It's got these tusks. See it on the side there?
Mm-hmm.
I drew those in personally.
Mm-hmm. Actual photo.
Yeah, actual.
Mm-hmm.
And then added tusks. So you get it. Oh my God. So these are a tusked whale species alive in the wild. First time ever photographed. These elusive whales had previously only been identified by dead specimens that have washed ashore, and the discovery was made using sound detection and DNA sampling.
Wow.
So there you go. If you don't think Bigfoot still could be discovered, there's a big, huge mammal. These are 18 feet long. They're bigger than a Bigfoot. And
it's a big critter.
Just discovered them. It says, proving that an entire, listen careful, folks, proving that an entire large animal species can still remain hidden in the Earth's oceans. It's a reminder that even today, massive creatures can exist largely unseen. It's called the spade-toothed whale.
Well, and it's a whale. It's air breathing, so it's not like it's hidden on the bottom. It's
it
got to
breathes
breathe air.
Yeah.
And so we've missed it until now.
So it looks kind of like an 18-foot dolphin. You know, the body shape. But it's got those weird teeth that come out.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know. They still don't know how many exist. They have no idea.
More than 4.
More than 4, and they're 15 to 18 foot long. And I do emphasize that because that is actually a cool discovery.
Yeah, very cool.
All right, now we're going to do weird in fact. Weird in fact. My God, I need more sleep. Weird fact of the week.
Weird fact of the week.
Of the week.
Are you ready?
You said of the week.
Yeah, weird fact of the week.
No, it's of, not ov.
Oh, with a little thing after it.
No,
the week.
No.
Like soup of the day.
No, it's not.
Weird fact of the week.
All right, go.
It's now time for Untold Radio Weird Fact of the Week. That is kind of weird.
All right.
It's a weird fact.
Go. It is a weird one. All right. This is a type of deep sea fish that lives permanently inside sea cucumbers. Okay, this is where it does get interesting. So you can read that if you're not watching on a phone. There's a bizarre deep sea relationship known as symbiosis. Okay, we know about that. And in one case, it's a specific type called, go ahead, Jeff, commensalism. I think I nailed it.
Commensalism? That sounds right to me. I don't know.
I nailed it, man. I nailed it.
It's a new word.
You didn't even correct me. I nailed it.
I think you did.
Okay.
Good job. Top score.
Top score. It's almost equal to your animation discovery.
Almost. It's an animated picture, too. Look at that.
Yeah. Stay zoomed in. Stay zoomed in. Okay. This is weird. Okay, listen to this. This fish we're talking about is commonly known as the pearl fish, which actually lives inside the cucumbers, entering through the rear. Okay, you can figure out what part that is. Entering through the rear and using the host as both shelter and protection from predators. Well, here's where it gets weird. Some species just use it as a hiding place, while others go further and feed on the host's internal tissues, crossing into the parasitic behavior. And no, not all these fish have to live this way, right? These certain ones just say, hey, I'm going to get out of my niche. I'm going to go live inside a sea cucumber. But here's where it gets weird. They get trapped in there. They go blind. They lose their eyes. And then the fish absorbs nutrients from the sea cucumber through the skin. So it never gets to eat again.
That is weird.
That is weird. It says obviously some of these fish can survive independently. It says, but the strange living arrangement is less of a choice and more of a survival strategy in a brutal deep sea environment. A parasitic Casanova, they call it.
It's wild.
Can you unzoom now?
It is unzoomed.
Oh, it is unzoomed. Well, pardon me. I thought it was weird.
Very weird.
What if one of those, swam up your...
Nope.
While you were swimming?
Nope.
And
Let's
then
not
lost
go there.
its vision and
Nope.
decided to get its nutrients from you?
Nope.
All right. Enough of that crap. Let's do our clip picks, and then it is we got 2 clips for is it fake or funk, and then we're going to bring Adam on real quick, and then we're going to bring on Michael and Marvin.
Clip time. Here we go. So clip 1 did not work, so skip right to clip 2.
What do you mean didn't work?
It wouldn't download.
Oh, well, okay. Well, then we're going to go right to clip 2, just like you said.
Yep.
Okay, the sound is good. This is the night sky on Mars. It's quite amazing.
This is awesome.
The Mars atmosphere is quite thin. This is what the sky looks like on Mars at night.
And no light pollution at all. So.
No, none. That's what we'd see here if we didn't have any.
Amazing.
We could, just like remove our atmosphere for a few minutes. Isn't it crazy?
That's amazing.
Yeah. All right. Enough. Clip 3. Sound is good. This sperm whale has a click so loud the click could kill you.
All right, here we go.
Its click is so loud it could paralyze a human heart. The loudest animal on the planet isn't a lion or an elephant, it's the sperm whale. Its echolocation click reaches 230 decibels, a sound so powerful underwater that if you swim too close, the sound waves could stun you or worse. They sleep suspended vertically in the water like mysterious monoliths.
That's crazy. Sperm whales are incredible animals.
Yeah, I wonder where they got their name.
You really don't know?
I don't know.
The oil in their head is called spermaceti. It's their main echolocation is through their head. They got a big, huge organ on top of their head full of this liquid called spermaceti.
Yeah.
And it's an oil, and then it got its name because it's an oil that looks a lot like another organic substance that males produce, but it's like a waxy, oily substance, and that's what was used for whale oil. It's the most valuable whale oil.
It's probably like Alba Vernix.
I can't remember what that is.
Oh my God! That's
But
the
spermaceti
that's the fingerprint white crap.
Oh yeah. Could be. Yeah, it's a waxy, oily.
Yeah.
And it's in that main organ in their head, and it was worth a fortune. That was the main oil for lamps and industrial lubrication for a long time. That was the whole foundation of the whaling industry.
Now you know why we call him the Big Ragu.
Yeah.
He's got a big head for some reason in there. Everything.
It's I read Moby Dick recently too, and that's right out of Moby Dick.
All right, clip 4.
Clip 4. Sorry for the sidetrack. Hopefully,
it's good. That's good. That's a good sidetrack. I learned something. I've always wondered that since I was a kid. Why do they call him a sperm whale?
Spermaceti
oil. They
oil.
look like a sperm?
Nope. It's that oil that looks just like something else.
Clip 4, sound is good. That's just a great picture.
Oh my days, look at this.
That's
I've never
beautiful.
ever seen anything like that in my life. The moon's bang in the middle of the rainbow. It's like it's sitting inside it. That's absolutely wild. You can see the colours running right over it. Man, that's mad.
That is cool.
That's cool. And it's double rainbow.
Yeah, and you could eat Lucky Charms while you're looking at that.
You ever seen a double rainbow? It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I have. They seem like they're more common nowadays.
I saw it once, but it was horizon to horizon. It was pretty wild.
Well, that was that day you were drinking that one kind of beverage.
No, I was actually going into work, and it was horizon to horizon, double rainbow. It's crazy.
Oh, what do we got? Okay, speaking of gooey oils coming out of whales' heads, this is quite interesting clip, and this is a gooey oil coming out of a mushroom. Go ahead and play this. Sounds good.
At first glance, this looks like oil being slowly squeezed from a living creature. But this is no oil. It's a spore-rich liquid, a self-made ink, released as the mushroom completes its life cycle. The shaggy ink cap delivers one of nature's most dramatic transformations.
What do you think there,
Wow.
Jeff?
Mushrooms are wild.
Yeah,
There's a lot of strange stuff going on with mushrooms.
There's learning about them. Okay. Yeah, fun guys, fun. Clip 7 is a royal ibex. Yeah, from
6.
the Himalayas.
You clip 6. You skipped clip 6.
Oh, they're both on fungus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. Go to clip 6. Sound is good. This is interesting.
This looks like science fiction. But wait for it. At first, it opens like a tiny star. But
They look
pressure
like
is building.
hard-boiled eggs,
In the
Jeff.
blink of an eye, it turns itself inside out and fires a sticky spore packet up to 20 feet away. Fittingly, it's called the artillery fungus, captured in gorgeous detail by Scottish fungi.
There you go.
Wow, artillery fungus. Did not know that.
No, see? We can even teach the big ragu crap.
Oh, I got lots to learn, man.
Man, it's great when we can teach you.
Clip 7 did not download, so we're going to skip to clip 8 next.
We are. So
Yep.
you see how Jeff does that?
Yeah, it just would not download.
Smooth.
But we got everything else.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we're going to clip 8.
This
right?
is clip 8. Yep.
Yes, and this sound is good on this one, Jeff. And this is interesting because I've studied beavers professionally. I did research on beaver lodges and blah, blah, all sorts of stuff, and on their symbiotic relationship to muskrats. But go ahead and watch this. Never seen this. He's carrying mud. That's all. That's it, Jeff. We're good. Hello.
That's cool.
I just
Interesting
wanted
thing about beavers, and I'm sure you know this, that's all instinctual. They don't learn that behavior. That is hardwired in their brain. Because they've taken beavers that have never, like rescued baby beavers that never lived
Right.
with their mom, and they just know how to make dams and build stuff.
That's pretty crazy.
It's incredible.
It's a lot of info in DNA. They're learning.
Yeah, big time.
Clip 9. This is good sound. And since it's spring, we've got a little flower story here that is also kind of interesting and something the big ragu probably doesn't know.
Cool. I love learning new stuff.
I bet you didn't know plants could do this. Watch closely. These orchids have a built-in trigger. When an insect touches it, the plant fires a sticky packet of pollen onto its back. It happens in a split second. The insect then carries the pollen to another flower, completing the pollination process.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Did you
Did not know that. That's pretty cool.
I didn't either. I think what I should do is just tell people I knew all this stuff. I knew it all. All right, clip, no, we did clip 9. Clip 10, this is just a lynx, but it's a really, really good recording of the lynx making these very out-of-the-world torture-type vocalizations, and I want to play it.
Here we go.
Did you imagine camping out alone and hearing this outside your tent?
Yikes.
Could you imagine hearing that outside the cabin
No,
or tent?
I've
if you're
heard
alone?
bobcats make some strange noises too,
They
and
do.
I've heard that.
Yeah, but anyhow, it's quite eerie.
That's wild. Yeah, I've never heard that before. That's creepy.
Okay, then we've got clip A. So let's run our little tiny
Fake
bumper.
as funk. I love this.
This is Jeff's favorite bumper.
It's a pretty fun bumper.
Is it BS, fake as funk? Have we been punked? Punked, punked. Is it BS, fake as funk? Have we been punked? Punked, punked, punked.
Everybody loves a good bass line.
Yeah. Clip A. This is from Deepwoods TV. And let's just play the clip. And the idea was, what is that? Because it's moving kind of quick. And of course, through everybody's mind goes, is it even real? People were guessing wolverines, bears, dogs, wolves, wild boars, apes, even apes were guessed. And so here's the first thing you're going to want to do. Go find other clips from that company. There's a name there from the Deepwoods company, Deepwoods TV. Go to their site and look at the other stuff. If they have a whole bunch of different clips that are similar, you're going to go, probably think they might not be real.
Yeah.
So let's go to clip
A1.
B. No, let's see. No, clip A1, right.
Yep, got
And
clip A1.
this is what I did. So I'll show you what you see. Same concept. Animal going really fast, so fast you can't see it. So, and you can kind of deduce what it is, right, Jeff?
Kinda.
Well, I mean, it doesn't prove it 100%, but definitely, if they got like 12 clips of, some creature bounding in front of the camera, you can kind of go, oh,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then we have clip B. Is this a real clip or is this?
The Gulf Breeze UFO footage is still one of the wildest clips out there. A glowing craft hovers in the Florida sky, then vanishes in an instant, accelerating so fast the camera can barely keep up. For some, it's the ultimate proof of advanced tech we don't have. For others, it's a decades-old hoax that fooled the world. Instant acceleration or instant trickery? What do you think?
Hard to trust anything you see.
Well, this is old though,
Yeah.
so it's always a little less likely to be fake when it's old.
You'd think so.
Yeah, but the Gulf Breeze footage, it does have a lot of really amazing UFO footage. Lots. All right, tech breakdown. Let's turn it over to Adam.
All
Looks
right.
like Marvin and Michael are all set up and ready to go after Adam's done.
All right, here we go.
Come on in.
Yeah. Wow. Look at me.
I'm here.
Welcome, Adam. Hey,
There you
there
go.
he is.
Yeah, I'll give you guys more real estate on that screen. Go on. Hey, Adam, how you doing?
Hey, so this week is not so much of a technical breakdown as it is kind of a conversation.
Well, no, it's still
Got
we
some
know
technical
it.
stuff to it.
Well,
Yeah.
we know it works.
Yeah.
So go ahead and talk about how it all got started.
Yeah, one of the first things we did was test a camera system that we had, and we put it up northern Minnesota. And what we noticed something right away and I'll just show you what we noticed. So go ahead and play the first clip.
Okay.
So you may not see it, but there's a peanut butter jar directly in front of the camera there on that biggest tree, not the white tree, but the dark trees. But peanut butter jar is there and just hanging out. But the bear is more interested in the camera than the peanut butter jar. Go ahead and play the next clip. How about at night? There's the same view. Peanut butter jar is on the tree. Bear goes over towards it, but he comes back and he's way more interested in the camera.
The camera.
Yeah. There you go.
They love plastic.
Well, yeah, we don't know exactly why they love this stuff, but they seem to love it.
Yeah.
So what we did was I made I took a stuffed dog toy, pulled out the stuffing and put a camera and a battery pack inside of it and called it the roadkill cam. It looked like a rabbit and it looked pretty realistic. And I put that on the ground. And go ahead and play clip 3. So what do you think is going to happen? So this is a roadkill cam on the ground. Oh yeah. He's into it. Go ahead and play the next one. Is he going to do it? Is he going to check out the camera? Maybe not this time, right? Nope, he's back.
Wow.
Checking the camera every time. Go ahead and hit the next one. So coming in, say it's probably the same bear, but every time he comes by the camera, he checks it out.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. So time after time after time, we got this footage, but it wasn't just bears. So go ahead and jump to 7.
7? Okay.
Yeah. Flying squirrel. Watch. Boom. Right at the camera. And we even had hawks attacking the camera. It's hard to check on this next one if you can play it. But the tail, you'll see the tail feathers coming in. And once it attacks the camera, it actually points it to the ground. So go ahead and play the next one if you can.
Number 8. One second here.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. That one doesn't seem to want to work.
All right. I sent you a backup of that on the email, but we can skip it. But we had go back to just full screen now.
Okay, hold on a second here. I'm kind of determined to get this to work.
He's determined, Adam.
It's the .move versus .mp4 thing. So I renamed.
The video H is corrupted. That didn't come through. Sorry.
Okay, we're fine. We had coyotes, we had squirrels, we had skunks, we had all these animals checking out the cameras. And I was talking about this with a friend of mine the other day, and I'm like, what is it? How do they sense that these cameras are there? And one of the things that we always kind of talk about is, can Bigfoot see in the IR spectrum? So that got me thinking, well, when we turn the IR lights off, the animals are still seeing these cameras and sensing that they're there. And I know Doug was talking about how it was constantly throwing rocks directly at our cameras and like trying to show us that it knew where they were all hidden, even though we camouflaged them quite heavily.
Not only did we camouflage them, we vexed them too with Vex clothing to block a lot of the IR or the
radio,
the magnetic, electronic magnetic radiation from them.
So,
this is kind of random. I just learned something recently that might partially explain this.
Okay, jump in.
I learned this from my career in the automotive industry. Somewhat recently, some companies have started using when you have to pull a wiring harness into a car, like a complicated wiring harness. And any they use it in cars, but it could be anything. Someone clever person a few years ago decided to use it's an oil to lubricate these wiring harnesses. They used a lubrication that's made from it's a soy product. So it's a soybean oil because they use it because it
it's crazy slick. I've used it.
Well, it's really slick and it kind of dissipates. However, what they've noticed is rodents are attracted to it because
Yeah.
it's organic. So
Have you seen, Jeff, have you seen the fences people put around their vehicles to keep the rodents from eating all their brake lines?
no, but that's something that I see in the industry is people with really new cars have wiring issues, and it's not covered under warranty because it's a rodent shooting.
Right. And they're also, there's another thing they're making these, they're making PLA plastic. It's made from corn.
Mm-hmm.
And to keep it organic and, to keep the dangerous chemicals out of the environment.
Yeah.
Those forever chemicals. They're making, tubes and all sorts of the crap, wiring, insulation out of PLA. And of course, the rodents go, oh, corn.
Yeah. And bears have good noses. So maybe, who knows? That could be part of it.
But what we discovered is probably something different. So
Probably.
Yeah, why don't you just keep telling your story?
Sorry for the sidetrack.
No, it's good info.
Yeah. So I was thinking about it, and I'm like, well, maybe they can see, because they can see it when we turn the IR lights off, because we have that capability. But maybe they're seeing the heat. So I started looking into it, and I realized that, the thermal cameras that pick up heat are picking up something in the IR spectrum. So go ahead and let's talk about the spectrum really quick. And so pull up number 9. So as you can see, at the bottom of the spectrum, we got the gamma rays, and then we've got the X-rays. We all know what X-rays are from the doctor's office. Then we've got UV rays, and that's the stuff that cooks us, UVA, UVB in the sun tanning. And then we've got the visible light spectrum, and just above it is the thing that we're interested in here is the infrared spectrum. So now go ahead and do the next one. So
I'm still here. My camera is wigging up. I'm still here.
I didn't realize this, but they kind of broke down the infrared spectrum into 4 different zones: the near infrared, shortwave IR, midwave IR, and longwave IR. Okay. And go ahead and do the next one. And you might want to zoom in on that one a little bit. If you can't,
I cannot, unfortunately.
But this tells us where, if you were a thermal camera manufacturer, this is the part of the spectrum that they're using, right? So go ahead and do the next clip. So I overlaid this, and you can see, and obviously I can't see, so I'm going to pull up my image here. Full spectrum overlay. What we're looking at is that for the long wave, the stuff at the top, they're using that for thermography and security cameras. So that's probably the area that they're using for all the thermal cams that we're using out in the fields for sensing deer and, hunting and stuff. And then it looks like the midwave is used for defense, and maybe that's for putting it up on buildings and seeing further away. And the shortwave is used for specialized imaging. So we don't use that very much. And then the NIR at the bottom is kind of interesting too. So that's near infrared. And go ahead and go to the next one. So if you can see, our visible light is right there. And just above the edge of the red there, that's where the IR begins. And you can see it begins just, maybe 740 or something, kind of right in there. So when you buy a security camera, it's going to come with one of 2 types of IR lights attached to it. And that's going to be like 840 nanometers, which is just above 800 there, or 900 nanometers. And the 900 is kind of invisible to us, but we can still see a faint glow on the 840s. So if you spend the extra money to get the 900s for specialty things, you won't see that as much. So it was really interesting to note that when we're using these thermal cameras, they're picking up the heat, but the heat is still in the IR spectrum. And so, the bottom line is that if Bigfoot can see above us, because most animals do have enhanced hearing and enhanced vision, obviously, and enhanced sense of smell, of course. So why wouldn't Bigfoot be able to see just above us into the IR spectrum and see our lights? And maybe it sees heat. So that's kind of what we were thinking. So I thought, if it does see it as heat, why don't we camouflage it as animals? So if you put a camera in a battery pack and it's generating heat, you tuck it inside a stuffed animal toy that looks like an animal, it might just be curious enough for them to like walk over and see it.
Yeah.
And of course, cameras in stuffed animals are nothing new here. It's nanny cams have been around forever.
But Adam, slow down here. All right. So we've all, many of us, and I've been camouflaging cameras for years. But what your big, huge breakthrough was the other day, it really was to me. It's like connected dots, and it was based on what you noticed. Yeah. You're like, maybe they're seeing you put the fur on it on a camera, and then you have the heat to back up. That makes it look real because animals put off heat.
Exactly.
And that's what made our cameras look so real, like animals. But I've even been wondering, like, why have Bigfoot's been throwing, like, you put a dead cat on a audio recorder, and Bigfoot's will throw pebbles at it over and over. Well, they see the heat and they see the fur, and they must think it's an animal.
Or some type
of animal. Because it's the heat, though, connection to the heat and the fur. That's when I went ding, ding, ding. And it made my light bulbs go off. So thank you for that, because all these years I kind of had one side of the story, and you made the whole story come together.
Yeah.
And so what he's trying to, what he's going to say, and it hopefully gets everybody's light bulbs off, that if you take a camera, even like a small Wise, some of these AI cameras, like a surveillance camera for security, and you cover it with some kind of fake fur, the animals are going to think it's a Bigfoot, especially if they do see an IR and you're convinced of that. Yep. Why not play up to it? Because instead of just a square piece of plastic glowing heat, now you've created something that might look like food to it.
Or at least something curious.
Yeah, right. You're curious. Because when we had hawks attacking our cameras, I'm like, I don't think that's because of the fur. And we never really, I don't know. When did this hit you, Adam? The heat and the fur?
Well, it just
the whole, was it?
The whole thermal camera and the infrared and all of it got talking. And I'm like,
but when did you actually connect the dots on the heat and the fur?
When I realized when you turn the lights off, they're still seeing the cameras. And so that I'm like, they must be seeing the heat generated by the
camera. But when did you connect the fur?
Well, that's
how cool it is, because now the fur is heated.
Exactly. Well, I just thought, animals are alive, so they generate heat. So why not camouflage the cameras as an animal? Because it might look more like a heat source inside an animal.
Right. And idea. So that's like more reason to do this.
Exactly.
And I got really excited.
I am too. I'm gonna make a lot of these animal camouflage traps now, because the heat that they're generating, not just the infrared, but the thermal heat that they're making.
Right.
When you take an IR camera out into the field, you could pinpoint the location of every one of our cameras.
Well, you can cover even a game trail camera with like even fake fur, because there's probably heat generated from those game trail cameras too.
Absolutely,
I would imagine.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And if it makes the object, especially like in colder weather, look warm, and it's got fur, and maybe it's a sleeping animal, even though it might, you could buy any kind of fake fur, because what's real or fake about fur is the fact it's putting heat out.
Exactly.
That's the key. So,
well, and you could heat the thing, throw like one of those chemical hand warmers in there too to kind of preheat the whole thing.
That's another idea. It's a good idea.
It would camouflage the infrared.
Yeah, those like carbon based ones that you shake.
Yep. That would hide the infrared.
Yeah, that would make it look more elongated as well, not just a square box.
Right.
So absolutely. These are all great ideas.
So okay.
Great insight.
Did we get your light bulbs to go off in chat to say, if we did, maybe we didn't. I don't know. It really made my light bulb just whack. It's like the whole story versus half the story. I was just doing visual stuff, thinking, if they see it, whether it's day or night, they're going to think, it's maybe a grouse, or, because I've been doing all sorts of camouflage stuff for like probably 30 years. But never was it ever explained, and maybe why it's so important to camouflage them with fur. Make them look like make those cameras look like a living creature. That's the
great idea.
Line.
That's what we're
And
thinking.
do you have ideas like, okay, getting what stuffed animals at them?
Yeah, I've been looking at dog toys for a while now, and there's some of them that look pretty realistic, like rabbits and squirrels and stuff like that. The reason I'm looking at the dog toys is because there's a ton of them being manufactured, so the cost is a little lower. But I mean, you could buy fake fur at the fabric store too, or I'm honestly thinking of roadkill. If I could, grab roadkill, I know it's gross, but I'm almost thinking of just using some fur off roadkill even.
Yeah, and you certainly can buy scents, animal scents,
Yeah.
and you can get them for almost any animal. You can get mink scents. We even found, like when I was working with Les, we had a stuffed grouse and had a camera in it. We found grouse scent. And you
Nice.
just put that on there, and I mean, what's it going to hurt, right?
Right, exactly. It's a new technique. And I mean, there's people building ammo can cameras and people just using trail cams that are just hard plastic. And I'm just like, these are really visible type of cameras. They can see them because not just because they can see the metal, but because they can see the heat probably.
Right.
Maybe, or they can sense the heat somehow. But
Yeah.
animals are, as you can see, animals are really, interested in cameras.
Right. And by the way, Adam, do you want to just move over for these guys and stay on? You're welcome
Yeah,
to.
stay on for a bit, sure.
Sure. All right, let's get these guys on.
Yeah, awesome.
Sorry here, but that was really good, Adam. That was
Yeah,
brilliant.
great
That
insight,
was
man.
brilliant of you to connect those dots. It really was.
Love it.
It's such a simple concept, but
It is.
man, how important that simple concept is to have both sides
Connecting
of the
dots.
equation. Yeah,
Love it.
connecting dots. I love it. But we're going to have you back on when you actually get some fur-lined or fur-covered cameras.
Absolutely.
Because even like a dead cat, that doesn't look real, but if it was putting out heat, it's probably confusing the animal that's observing it, going, now, is that dead or is that not dead? And that explains why they're always throwing rocks at them to see whether they scurry away.
There you go.
Because it probably kind of freaks them out. Okay. Anyhow, we'll start with Marvin.
All right. Welcome, Marvin. Here he comes.
And I'm gonna,
Hello.
Hey, Marvin.
Hey, what's going on, Doug?
Hey, good audio. I love it. All right, let me read. I'll just read a little bit of Marvin's bio if I can get it here, because he's got a really interesting bio. And I was not able to get it into my notes because we didn't have time. But Marvin, is it Leeper or Leper? Leeper.
It's Leeper. Formerly Leeper, but it was
Leeper.
changed. Yeah, with English.
All right.
Leiper, and now it's Leeper.
Oh, okay. So Marvin is a Bigfoot researcher and educator known for his focus on folklore, eyewitness encounters, and behavioral patterns tied to Bigfoot. And he studies reports across North America, blending academic perspective with field experience. Leeper studies how sightings connect to long-standing regional stories, environmental factors, and human psychology, separating consistent patterns from exaggeration. He's also a contributing author to the Woodknox Volume 4, a collector of firsthand accounts and research from investigators in the field. And you also worked at Area X, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I was probably in country 10 or 12 seasons consecutively.
Wow. Okay. Well, we'll get into it. I know that's a secretive place, and they do guard a lot of information. But hopefully, we can talk a little bit about it.
We can.
Yeah. So I can go on and on. Oh man, you got a lot of stuff here. Maybe you can just kind of mention a few things too as we kind of go along. You mentioned his work in the book. What book?
It was volume 3 of the Woodknox
Oh,
Journal.
Woodknox. Oh, yeah.
By David Weatherly. I just I was very fortunate to just have written the introduction to David's new book, Sooner State Monsters.
Oh, okay. Well, let's bring on Michael. We'll get everybody on here right away.
All right.
So Michael Waldie, he is like the man's man of
Welcome, Michael.
Bigfoot research. I don't think there's anybody tougher, nicer, or smarter than Michael. He goes at everything with a very high-tech approach. And how many years, Michael, have you been doing this research?
No, man. I did all that armchair research from like 2004, maybe getting in the field around 2008 or 9.
Yeah.
And then I hit it pretty heavy there for probably about 10 years.
Yeah, you did.
I mean,
and you're obviously, you and Marvin have got some plans. It sounded like.
Well, I moved up to Oklahoma there for a while, and to have the proper etiquette, I didn't research, even though I had active areas around there. I did not touch one bit of them woods, and it took me about a year to finally get a hold of him to make sure I wasn't encroaching in some of his delicate areas. And then after that, hell, we became friends. We started hitting areas all the time.
Okay. Well, that's very cool. Okay, so Marvin.
Oh, Marvin, we just lost Marvin.
Oh, no. Okay, well, it's good. We got two people, so we lose one, we talk to the other one. So, what area? So it was Oklahoma where you met Marvin.
Yes.
It was in Oklahoma.
Oh yeah, Tishomingo.
And how many years have you and Marvin worked together?
I'm gonna have to come back on. Every time there's some kind of movement, I lose the audio.
Oh boy. Okay. So, well, we'll get through tonight. All right. So, Marvin, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, how did you get into the Bigfoot topic as an academic?
Well, as an academic, I actually got into the Bigfoot topic in the late 60s as a child. I had seen the evening news, and the Patterson Gimlin film was on there, and I was talking about it to my mother. And we lived in an area of southeast Oklahoma, and at that time, I think I was 7 or 8 when PGF came out. And I was talking to her about it, and she said, "Well, you're old enough to know." And I said, "Know what?" And she said, "Whatever that thing is here." And I said, "Here, like in Oklahoma?" And she said, "No, like here, down on the creek." And I went, "Oh, well, we have Boggy Creek just like they do in Fouke, Arkansas." And I was talking to an old lady in the grocery store the other day that said, "Well, my husband saw that thing with a little one on its hip back in 1960 or whatever." And those stories just generated all through my youth right there in my home area. And the PGF spurred me on. And then in 2005, a former girlfriend of mine and I were camping and had an encounter. And that's when I really started looking into the Bigfoot lore. And then when I started at Murray State College in 2007, I had access to all the folklore. And I just dove in head first, and I'm still there.
Okay, so are you now more of a knower than just somebody who is interested in it at this point in your life?
There is I was telling another gentleman in a documentary that we tend to add nomenclature to everything. There are knowers, believers, experiencers, and I'm probably all or none.
Okay.
I had a sighting with a dear friend of ours, Jerry Hestan, some years back, and we, being empirically minded educators, we called each other for 2 weeks. Did we really see that? Were we freaking out, or was that real? So rather than say I know Bigfoot exists, I'm going to say that I think Bigfoot exists, and there's enough as evidence to warrant further investigation.
Yeah, that's good. Well, that's a great attitude, because until the species is really confirmed, we can all say we're hallucinating.
Well, we have nothing to back it up as anything
Right.
else.
Exactly.
Can I interject something about Adam's fur thing very quickly?
Yeah, please.
So we took a gorilla suit. An investigator from Sulphur named Michael Cottrell and I took a gorilla suit and stuffed it with chimpanzee bedding and hand warmers, took it to the woods, put a trail camera in it, and covered it up somewhat with leaves and left it out there for a couple of weeks. And that was very interesting. It had been taken apart and scattered in all directions, and the camera was finally found face down, yards from where we had the gorilla suit. So there may be something to that.
Okay, what was with the heat packs? Were you thinking the same thing Adam was thinking?
Decomposition starts in the abdomen, and in a deceased mammal, the heat source would then be in the abdomen.
Yeah.
So we stuffed the abdomen full of straw bedding from a zoo. Jason Contz gave me the bedding, chimp house bedding, and put those warmers in there thinking that, okay, they probably, if they're able to have sensory in heat and infrared, can see the abdomen. They have seen that in other dead animals. So that was our rationale.
Interesting.
I'm
Adam,
blown away.
Yeah.
I'm blown away. I've just.
That's a whole new angle. I love it.
There was a time where we were doing a reenactment for Monster Quest, and I think it was Alan Terry was wearing the suit to do this kind of reenactment out at the Skookum Meadows. And they laid this suit down, and the idea was they were going to interview each other. It was Rick Knowles and Alan Terry. They were going to interview each other. And what do you think happened? Big rock comes sailing over the forest, and boom, lands right by the suit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think we fooled anything that was there.
So, okay. So what do you think tore it apart?
That's hard to determine because we have bear, we call them panthers here because we're obviously not in the mountains where I live.
Yeah.
Any number of carnivorous things could have torn that suit apart. It's too hard to say, but that particular area is in a 20-acre scope of woods next to a creek, which has had lots of activity next to a Civil War freedman slave cemetery.
Wow.
And we've had some wild experiences in that graveyard with what we call growler. Two separate experiences where something approached us and stayed in the timber, but it was just a hugely the volume was intense on this growl, and it actually followed us out of the woods. So, I mean, whatever that was could have been responsible for destroying the suit. I'm not sure, but it's a very active area.
Very interesting. Let's just kind of do some quantum leaps. Tell us about, I mean, you talk about devoted, you spent 12 seasons out at Area X?
Yes.
Or 12 shifts out there during 12 different years?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we go in for a week at a time. Sometimes we would go in a week, set out a week, and then go back a week. So, yeah, you got to be crazy to do that, obviously, but that's a remarkable spot.
Were you there alone ever, or were you always with somebody?
I was frequently there with one other person, but I was never in there alone.
Okay. And I mean, is that area? I mean, you say it's a really good area, but did you have experiences there?
Yes.
And anything you can talk about, Marvin?
Sure. I can turn you guys on to a reference that you will read this book called Valley of the Apes by Michael Mays.
Yeah.
Read that book. And that's a wild book, and it's true. It's true. Multiple experiences. One that comes to mind we talked about just recently on another show was with Jerry Hestand and I, and we were driving in his Jeep late one night. We had I don't even remember the source on this, Doug, but somewhere I had read that a third of Bigfoot sightings are nighttime road crossings while driving. So he thought, well, we're bored sitting here in camp and it's extremely hot. And we got out on the road in his Jeep, and it was just beating us to death, as you might imagine. and he took a smoother path. And as soon as we turned down this smoother path, I would say road, but they're not roads. He said, "Look at that." And I didn't see it because I was in the back of the Jeep tinkering with a FLIR, an old B2 thermal wand. And he floorboarded it, and we shot up to the hole, as it's come to be known, which was about shoulder high, between waist and shoulder high. And the thing had ran down the hole. So Jerry said, "Run down there after it, Marvin." And yeah, I did. And there it was. It was on all fours when I first saw it. Jerry followed me. And, well, it's probably not really wise because we weren't armed or anything, but we wanted to see it, And so I handed it off to him. I'm seeing this thing on all fours, handed it off to him. And he said, "It stood up." And he said it was trying to hide behind small saplings, like "you don't see me," froze, camouflage by being still. But it didn't work on the FLIR. And he handed it back to me, excuse me, never said a word, and shot back up the hill onto the road. Well, this thing, I guess confused by his actions, turned and followed him back up to the road. And they met eye to eye. And Jerry was like, I'm running up there thinking, my God, that's too close. And they couldn't have been over 5 feet from each other. And he said it was eye to eye. Well, Jerry's 5'8", and the next day we shot a grade, and the angle of descent put that creature at between 7 to 8 feet. So It turned out, Jerry said it was gray, and there had been several intense sightings of a gray Sasquatch that we had named Old Gray. So yeah, I'm thinking based on what happened there and the context of the situation that we probably encountered Old Gray that night.
Crazy. Do you think that you guys are seeing enough over at Area X and experiencing enough and getting enough evidence to keep people enthused? That's a big volunteer.
It is absolutely a volunteer organization.
Yeah,
And
it's
here's
huge
the thing.
though.
You know this as well as I do. If you're experienced out in the field, you don't have an experience every time you go out.
Yeah,
Even
right.
in a place like Area X, which has a higher than normal percentage of encounters, we didn't have something happen every time we went out. As a matter of fact, Jerry, I believe it was saying that the boredom factor sometimes when you're in there for days and days and days, and it's 110 degrees, and it rains every day in that valley in the summer.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, their average is 20 inches, at least 20 inches higher than the state average.
Okay.
And it's almost an inland rainforest. When you top the crest going down into the Cucumber Valley, you leave the pines, and it's nothing but nut trees, fruit trees, mulberries, hickory nuts, pecans, sweet gum trees.
Wow.
And the understory is like a jungle. As a matter of fact, it very much looks like a jungle.
This is kind of, the way you're describing it, Marvin, it's kind of like a lost world.
Well, it almost, yes, you do have that sense, in your head, you're thinking, could Conan Doyle have been here? Would this have influenced the Lost World novel? It's a whole new world.
Interesting.
When was the last time you were there, Marvin?
It's been about 5 years ago. Well, actually, that's not true. I was there in February, up from where the old compound was. We didn't go into that because it's private property. But yeah, we were within a mile back in February. Yeah. But prior to that, 5 years.
Now, would somebody like Adam, who I know would go, would somebody like Adam qualify for that kind of a mission over there?
Well, the qualifications for the mission are dedication mostly. Now, I've seen people in there that probably physically didn't need to be in there,
Right.
but they were cautious, and there are training. The NAWAC does have training camps, and
Oh,
you're trained in wilderness survival and first aid. All the things you need to know to be in a hostile environment for a prolonged amount of time. So if Adam were wanting to go in there, he should petition the NAWAC,
Adam,
talk directly to their board of directors.
Adam, Adam, Adam.
Yes, yes.
What say you?
Sounds like something else to do. Sure.
Yeah. Let's put another thing on your plate.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. It just sounds so, I mean, the way you described it, Marvin, it's so amazing. Have you been there, Michael?
Oh, no, we lost his audio.
Oh, we lost your audio, Michael.
There it is.
Oh,
There
there
it
you
is.
go. Okay.
I had it on mute. I didn't want
Yeah.
to interrupt. But yeah, I've been down to Cucumber, and down in that valley, but not to X.
Oh, okay.
And yeah,
Well,
that
the
area
entire
is
valley is the area. It's not
it's
just the location, the compound we used to use. The entire area is designated as X. The entire
yeah.
cucumber.
I've been running down in that area from other side of the ridge, mostly from there for back since 2010. But since then, I mean, like that. Don't get me wrong, that area is great. But there's like me and Marvin, we've had a lot of experiences, not necessarily sightings, but there was one here recently. I don't know if you know about that one. It was in Oklahoma about what 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, just
Yeah.
up from the Red River. Marvin went out and investigated that. It was a power line right of way sighting on a heavy transmission line, which is on the tail end of the area that we've been hitting pretty regular. This is the area I used to live stream at night and kind of go through there. I did audio drops every night. And to your point earlier, Adam, um, you was talking about them detecting game cameras. I did audio drops every night. I did them from hanging in the trees, hiding them, throwing them under leaves. And I had something in particular every time I'd come down there was messing with my audio. There was once it was stomped in the ground, once it was taken. One time it was picked up and moved around and it hung in a different spot. And then when I changed it to another spot, it was during a live stream. I had a tripod with a parabolic set on it, and I was in front of it with the camera on the live stream, and I was painting it up. Now, mind you, I don't start the live stream till I'm in where I'm at, so nobody can get any landmarks to try to go and find my recorders. But during that, I had a tree knock happen. I mean, it was a power knock right there where I was painting that new recorder, and I was hanging it, with a pole and a coat hanger up in a tree. And I turned around and went back to the live stream. I didn't know if anybody else could hear it because that parabolic facing, the wrong way. And everybody on the live stream heard it. And I took back and we just started going toward that power knock, and you can hear something moving through the vines. It got to where I couldn't push through them no more, but you can hear something moving through there. And that place has got a long history. And it's probably one of the creepiest places I've ever been. And I can
Mike,
hike
is
into
that
some
the Deer
areas.
Man? Is that the
Yes.
Deer Man location? Okay, yeah, I know where you're talking
Yes. Yes. And there's some areas in there and I've hiked a lot of areas at night. Marvin can tell you, I'd live stream them, and I'd wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and go out there and hit the woods and start hiking. And because I was literally, when I moved up there, probably 10 minutes away from being in the heart of that area. And there's a long history there. And there's there's what we call stalker's draw. Man, I went to go get that audio one night, and it was just there was a lot of crashing and everything around and I heard it before I got there in the truck. This is one of the quick areas, but it was a choke point that I put that audio drop, and it was down in a draw. But when I killed the truck, it was dead silent. So I called in to somebody like I always do, tell them, hey, something happens on the live stream. This is where I'm at. And the second I killed the truck, it was dead silent. Walked in there, did my audio swap, uh, and I was live streaming once I hit the trees, and was back in the canopy. I turned on my live stream. There's nothing, uneventful. Got in the truck, drove to the river, did a turnaround, and come back out. And well, when I picked up that audio and I got down in there, or was listening to where the second that I shut my truck door, something was moving by my recorder just for a few steps. And then when I did a U-turn and was coming back, I'm playing it in the time frame in my mind. About the time that I was back, you can hear my truck approaching. You hear this distinct boom, 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 and it stopped right there, which is also hidden. I mean, it's in the trees, but there's a particular cedar tree that will be blocking the view from my truck. So, like, it had gotten back in that area, and I tried to recreate that run. And there is, like, I don't know what you call them, but it's on the creek edge, and it's kind of like a mogul, and it has all the vines and saplings in there. Me as a person couldn't run from mogul to mogul, and that's the only way something made it to in like 3 or 4 steps to get to my recorder from where I heard all that noise.
That's crazy.
But to give you the idea, the that fight or flight feeling. There's areas I'd hike, and it feels like I'm in a park on Sunday, but this area in particular, all the way through this, gives me that feeling. But this one area, I had to go in the daytime because it really rattled you. I went in there in the daytime and waited until about midnight, so I had to force myself to hike out. And I was on a peninsula up in there where it had water around it. It was like an old pond, an old roadbed from, I don't know, early 1900s. But it's all in the still trees all through there. It's river bottom areas. And while I was on there, there's probably, a matter of fact, the guy in the chat, he was on there, Stephen Hill, listening because I was on the phone with him, and he can hear something crashing from my left, crashing from my right. And I was like, dude, I feel like I'm fixing to be ambushed. Literally 6 weeks or several weeks before that, a guy came up missing in that area, and they looked for 6 weeks and couldn't find him.
Wow.
And but so there's a lot of history, and that was something that rattled me just trying to get out of there.
Well, yeah, because being the man with the highest testosterone in the nation, it would think it would take a lot to rattle you.
Yeah.
I know Marvin, he'd tell me that too. And I'm like, dude, I've seen in some of the areas he goes, and hell, just being an ex, that gives you a set of brass.
Have you ever experienced the anxiety or the zapping, Marvin, ever, or something like that, where you just felt really like, I need to leave?
I have never had the classic. I have acquaintances who have told me about being zapped and all of that. I won't address that, but yes, I have. And the area Michael is talking about is definitely high on the list of anxiety, and has a long, over a century, tragedy and sightings of this creature, which they call the deer man.
Yeah, it's one of them. Of all the places I've been, I think it's probably one of my favorite to be at.
We should go there soon.
It's your favorite to be scared.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
Yes.
and I think every one of us on here enjoy that to some extent.
Well, yeah, I guess it's just kind of like they say the person who goes to a casino loses money. That's actually the feeling they're after, is the losing. It's kind of like the being scared,
Well, like somebody that crawls into a cave where there's a hibernating bear.
Yeah, like that. And as one sits on your face. Yeah, it's kind of like that.
What kind of lunatic would do that?
Yeah, why do we do this stuff?
Who's had a bear crawl across
that self-respecting bear would want to be in a cave with Waldie?
Yeah, exactly.
It woke up while he was in there. He was putting one of them bear cams in there, and it woke up, and as it was coming out, stood on his face.
Yeah. Well, it laid on my face. Yeah.
Oh no,
I was in snowshoes, and
I'll be back.
And it came out and just you have nowhere to go but just fall backwards, and it walked on me, and then sat down, and Joe was up on the rock. Joey, he was up on the rock going, "What should we do?" I'm like, "Don't move."
I've been close to a black bear, but never that close.
Oh God, yeah, it's pretty close. Yeah. So anyhow, it was a cold bear. Let me explain. It's some cold butt on me. Okay, so I'm just so Marvin, you said you saw one of these things on all fours. Let's talk about that a while. I got it. Obviously, you didn't just blow that off because you must have been thinking about this being on all fours. Why? Why would an upright animal go down on all fours? Do you want to expand on some of your thoughts on that?
Well, obviously what you're saying is exactly what you wonder. Why is this thing traveling in both modes? And the only thing I could think of was the terrain. I think that it adapts its gait to the terrain. And there where we saw it, it's extremely hard to navigate. So it wanted the speed. This is what Jerry and I surmise anyway, after weeks and weeks of talking on the phone after the experience. And it wanted the speed of bipedalism, but to cover the terrain it had to get down into before it went upright, it was very rocky and rough, so it used 4 supports rather than 2.
Yeah. And do you think they lay low to be more hidden? Like a soldier gets down on its stomach to avoid fire.
Mike and I have talked many times of how many times he potentially walked past one of these things undercover as he was by himself in that particular bottom.
Yeah. So when you had that sighting, how did it affect you? I mean, did it motivate you more, or just go, I expected that? Or, how did that change you, Marvin?
It's never what you expect. I mean, I expected the legend of Boggy Creek, I expected to see it on 2 legs. And when we saw what we saw, it was totally unexpected. We had heard several different sources say that the animals are quadrupedal when it suits their terrain, but to actually see something that massive on 4 legs is disconcerting, to say the least.
Yeah.
And after that, it was like, okay, I've waited all these years for this, and now it's happened. What do I do next? Is there anything else to do? I mean, I think this is what we saw by process of deductive reasoning. What else could it have been?
Yeah.
So we've finally achieved the goal. We've seen it, and that was 10 years ago, and we're still doing it. So,
the best story I've ever heard about them walking in all 4 came from a Native American guy that had never studied the topic, never looked up one thing, never listened to one podcast, nothing. I just kept bugging him and bugging him and bugging him. I know you've seen something. I know. I just kept accusing him almost. It's like it just sense. He'd get this little twinkle in his eye when I talk about Bigfoot. That tell, like somebody saw something.
It takes a pilgrim to know a pilgrim.
Yeah, exactly. And I kept bugging him, and after about 5 years, finally we're out to dinner with his mom and dad, and he just blurts his story out. All right, I'll tell you my story. And of course, he sees it on all 4s, and it comes up a wood pile on all 4s, kind of like a spider, back down the wood pile on the other side, then stood up and walked into the woods. And this is a guy telling me this that has never looked up one thing on the internet, ever. And so that just confirms to me all these other stories like yours, seeing them on all 4s. Because it's not something you're going to make up, right?
Right.
Yeah. Do we lose? No, there we go. Marvin's back.
I lost you though. It walked like a spider across the wood pile and then stood up.
And then back down, and then it stood up and walked into the woods.
Yeah.
I didn't see the transition. I didn't see it go from all 4s to standing upright. Jerry did. Had I seen that, I think I would probably have. I wasn't traumatized by it. I was probably wild as a March hare back in camp. But I don't know. I mean, the actual visual shock of seeing something do two things at once. I mean, that's adaptability.
So would you guys raise your hand if you've had rocks thrown at you? Both of you have, I would imagine.
Oh yeah,
right.
Hands up.
Have you ever been hit with anything? Like ever had even a pine cone hit you? Anything?
The closest I've ever come to being hit, I had two near miss encounters. One in southeast Oklahoma at a different location close to my home. Matter of fact, on a tributary to our Boggy Creek there in southeast Oklahoma. And we were standing. It was Thanksgiving night. It was 2:30 in the morning. It was raining. You could not see your hand in front of your face, so we were holding to the truck to make our way around in the dark. We didn't even have time to get set up and get our night vision out or anything before the rock hit inside the bed of the truck, and I felt it zip past the back of my head. And it hit so hard with such velocity that it ricocheted 3 or 4 times around and around in the bed.
Whoa.
So, yeah. Then we turned around and made our way to the back of the truck, and more rocks came. And I was pretty rattled by that. That was a close encounter. Had that thing been mere inches farther to the left, I wouldn't be here.
So this rock just kept ricocheting inside the bed of the truck.
Yes, absolutely. Insane. There were 2 other people there. I've been very fortunate, Doug, that these encounters I have had have always had myself and at least one or more other people for corroboration. And as we made our way to the back of the truck, a larger, bigger rock hit just inches in front of me and rolled up to me. So the other instance, close encounter, was in Area X. We had a 15-foot platform with a blind on top of it, and we were set up in that blind surveying the mountain with I believe it was a Thor infrared scope. And to the immediate right was a lawnmower shed. And I thought on several occasions, I thought over the rocks, which will produce heat signature themselves, as you know, over the rocks, I thought I'm seeing like movement, and another heat source. And about that time, rock impacted the top of the shed next to me, which was actually a few feet below me. And it was insanely loud, and that rattled me. And I came out of the blind and threw my legs over the platform and was sitting prone or sitting exposed, scanning the top of the mountain, and the next rock hit mere inches from me. And I'm not sure that these were misses. They may have been near tosses like, get out, leave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It just seems like they can really whip those rocks with extreme accuracy.
Yes.
Like extreme. I've been missed by an inch, and you'd swear if it hit me, it would have killed me, but it didn't. I don't think they missed. I think they hit exactly where they wanted it to hit.
I don't know of anybody that's actually ever been hit. And I know
Adam, you've had pine cones hit you in the daytime.
Well, they were still thrown near us, but not at us.
Oh, okay. They didn't. So they were still missing you.
Yep.
They were throwing them at you,
but yeah,
they were dropping off right
us,
before they hit you.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah, and it was what 2 or 3 of you guys that all experienced that.
Yeah,
yeah, that's crazy.
So have all your encounters been peaceful? Nothing too scary?
Yeah, well, no. There have been some hair-raising moments. We were at the location where we had the gorilla suit. 3 of us one night on a hike. That, as I mentioned, we have to walk by an ancient, unattended graveyard. So that really, pumps your spirits up. This is great. Nothing bad can happen here, right? Wrong. We go around the corner and a deer shot out, and there was no reason for this deer to move. It could have stayed under concealment without us even knowing it. We would walk by it. It was in cedars. And as soon as we walked to the area where the deer had shot across the path, we turned, and the just insanely high volume, intense volume, feel it volume, dense roar, prolonged in one breath. This, whatever was roaring, growling, had to have had massive lungs. And we were, again, not armed, and we walked back.
Did you have some sort of recorder or body cam on to capture that?
We didn't. We only had that old B2 thermal on FLIR. And on the way back, we stopped, and it was pacing us on the other side of these cedars. It stopped, and this was what was so bizarre. And you asked about the fear factor. This is the only time I've ever felt that I wasn't in control of the situation, because I felt like we were being baited. This thing produced, and Smokey Crabtree told me this years ago down in Fouke one time. He said, if you want to catch this thing and call it up, he said, don't use those so-called Bigfoot calls. He said, use a wounded rabbit. Just be a hunter and go out and use a wounded rabbit call. So in the back of my head, I'd always thought of that, but this time the tables were turned, because we stopped, and whatever was on the other side of the cedars produced a wounded rabbit call. And if you've ever hunted or been out in the woods, a wounded rabbit call will bring in predators of all sizes.
Yeah, I've used those for like coyote hunting.
Yes, and I'm thinking, is this thing baiting us? So
wow.
Yeah.
So scary? It was. So you heard a wounded rabbit call that wasn't a wounded rabbit.
Absolutely, more than one occasion. There's a cat named John Harrell that goes with us a lot, and he was there on both of the wounded rabbit occasions when this thing, whatever it was, produced a wounded rabbit call in our direction. And, we didn't go look. We stayed where we were.
That's nuts. So there you go, Adam. Don't try to imitate them. Try to imitate a little rabbit.
I've got some pictures here that Michael just sent me.
Oh,
these are rocks that were thrown.
Wow, nice. Those all look like good throwing stones.
Yeah, I love the Ritz for size.
yeah. Exactly. Way to go, Michael. Way to go, Michael. Love it.
So we had and this is Cucumber Valley, but a cabin. It was a 1 mile up the mountain, and I had heard what sounded like rocks hitting the roof, but at the same time acorns, and they would roll off. And so next morning I got up there and there's rocks all over the roof. Not these rocks, but a whole nother set. Swept that whole roof clean, because I can't say that it wasn't, some renter before me. And we got the whole roof clean. And I had a thermal camera set up on the mountainside with the 55-inch monitor, strapped the wall mount to a tree right off the back deck. And we sat there watching that downside of that mountain going down toward Cucumber. And, that's where we spent the night, just watching. But we'd hear this again, the same noises. Well, the next morning I got up, and there's, sure enough, 13 rocks, and there's that Ritz cracker for size on that roof. So that was one of my rock throwing incidents.
That's crazy. By the way, I do want to bring up when I met Marvin through Michael, and Michael raved about Marvin and his demeanor and his honesty and then here's somebody already that noticed it. Marvin, he said Marvin's he really has a good head on his shoulders. Too many kooks, not enough reasonable people given the spotlight. So I was thinking exactly the same thing. Like when I talk to you, Marvin, you just seem so, I don't know. I guess level-headed.
Straight shooter.
Yeah, straight shooter, level-headed.
You are an amazing storyteller too. I'm just drawn in by your stories. So it's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
I
probably
tried
the
to
reason
I tried to
his
fit the
folklore
bowl
class had no room for anybody else.
Oh yeah, because he would do these classes
On folklore? I bet that
on
was a great
folklore
class.
and covered Bigfoot too, right, Marvin?
Oh yeah, yeah. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
it was
And his
dark.
Marvin, you're on
yeah,
mute, Marvin.
and it will tell us how packed those
Oh,
classes were.
Well, I'll tell you a really funny story. Uh, the classes, you know, they are 28 is the cap, and I think that's the fire marshal's rule for a classroom that size.
Yeah.
And so there were typically 32 to 36 kids in there every time. And one day, I had Mike's and I, mutual friend Jerry Hestan come and address the class. And I just passed around a roll sheet rather than take up time calling roll, you know, because Jerry's setting up his presentation. He's wanting to get on with business. And I got the roll sheet back, and we had 28 enrolled and 42 signatures on the roll sheet. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, who are all these other kids? So I asked them to stay, and I contacted their professors to see if they had anything that hour, and they did. A couple of them had ditched that class, and I arranged to get their absences excused, and then we gave them some extra credit points for a test, you know, for showing up. But even without those incentives, those academic incentives, they just tore that class up. We
Oh
we
gosh.
studied uh, we studied the Whiskey Rebellion and moonshiners in that class as well. And between Bigfoot and moonshine, yeah, you couldn't drive a toothpick between the seats.
Apparently, there's somebody in chat that went to one of your college classes. He says, I took his folklore class, one of my favorite college classes ever. Made a significant impression on me.
Love it. That's awesome.
So, yeah, very cool. Okay, so do you have any doubt that these creatures are real? I'm going to ask both of you, but first, Marvin, do you have any doubt at all?
No, none. I think the recent debacle over whether the PGF is a hoax or not ultimately has no effect on this topic.
No, of course not. Why would it? I mean, it just doesn't.
I have unearthed documentation from the Caddo Nation here in Oklahoma going back over a millennia.
Yeah.
So there's more than adequate proof that they exist.
Well, even let's just say there was nothing, not one footprint cast, not one hair collected, nothing. The fact it's fueled every day by hundreds of sightings, every day, it's fueled. It is not going away. Any of the skeptics that want this mystery to go away, you can just stick it because it ain't going away ever.
Oh, it's as old as man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not going away. And you can just try to wish it away. And, you know, somebody put a comment on my phone, oh, you're still whistling, but past the graveyard. And I'm thinking, oh my God, you know, what a dumb statement. You know, this is something where I get calls literally every week and take witnesses. And these are credible witnesses. We're all seeing something. Yeah. We're not imagining it, because I've been lucky enough too to have a witness with me in every case. You know, and it was like, you know, we compare notes and you're like, yeah, we saw it. We didn't imagine it. Michael, what about you? You have any doubts at all that they're not real?
I spent a lot of money if I doubt. You know, I've spent a lot of money on
stuff. Yeah, he's the technology guy.
Yeah, I should have shared some of my pictures, but I've got this nice new version of my thermal goggles. It's got fans. It's but I went from what should have been like a transmitted signal to FPV goggles, and just hardwired it. Made my own bench cable to where I can wear them and hike in thermal vision. And then the Can-Am. I know you're big on the electric, which is wanting me to get toward the electric, but I can cover 35, 45 miles a night in that Can-Am, scanning mountains.
Right. Yeah. Well, the Can-Am, he's talking about, is it like an ATV or a side-by-side?
Yeah, side by side,
Okay.
a Can-Am X3. You could run 70 mile an hour down them rough roads if
But
you wanted
see,
to.
what you need, Michael, is to have an e-bike on the back on
I
a
know
rack,
you've been telling me for four
because
or
you can get
five
a
years
rack for
now.
$100 and you can put that on the back of the Can-Am. Now you can go stealthy both ways and get into the backcountry and then take the e-bike and go even further.
Hey, so see that's what's got me thinking about what you was talking about is with that thermal headset I got and the e-bike, I can
Yeah.
buzz along there and I mean it works out pretty good. But yes, I do strongly believe I went down this rabbit hole because of the experiences I had back in the
Right.
early '90s that this is the only obvious answer for it. And I mean, like them rocks. I sit there, I clean that roof that night. That's one of my, you know, what through them rocks.
Right. Well, exactly. Yeah, you clean it so you know anything thrown up there.
Oh,
And they seem to have an affinity to throwing rocks on roofs. So okay, so one of the things I wanted to bring up, and I don't know if you even want to talk about it. Are you familiar, Marvin, with the story of the face print that was collected by Michael
Yes,
on the
Michael's told me
glass?
about that. Mm-hmm.
And now here comes Michael. He's back here.
Great.
Michael, Papa, yeah. Can we talk about the Texas face print that you guys collected?
oh yeah, yeah. No,
Can we talk about that? It's a hell of a story. If you can shorten it a bit, we don't need to
oh,
get into all the crazy
you know,
details, but I mean that lot went down there.
well, it was really kind of the chain of events that happened is ironically I had just heard you talking about that we need to start paying attention to this the waxy residue left
Right.
behind. And I was like, wow, Doug Hajicek, I haven't heard from him in a long time, and he's coming out talking about the white substance, and that was just great to see again. And then if I didn't have a report, just get that I had to go investigate, and it was a face print on the window, and there was a whole bunch of other events that happened. I mean, shooting. The shooting was the big part. That guy was obviously shook up, and he was a Texas hunter. They hunt hogs. I mean, weekly. His matter of fact, one of his boys, every one of them carries a pistol when they're in the woods, and these are 14, 15-year-old boys. One of them came by me and asked me if I wanted to see his alligator. I said, yeah. And he pulled him out of his front pocket. They're country folks. But the face print, they'd had these multiple things happening. Now,
So was
they
it?
built,
I want to back up just real quick to set the stage a little better. It was a new homestead in the
that's where I'm
forest.
going.
Oh,
That's where I'm
okay.
going.
Yeah, don't leave that part out.
This house was built on a dead end road in old growth timber. And if you're going down this road and you pass the house before him, you're going to his house. It's down at the end. And now it has a 50-foot right of way, not a heavy transmission, just a power line right of way that runs through it. And then he's got a little pond. He's got, some feeders in the back for hogs and deer. He's got a 30 by probably 40 chicken coop with chickens and the extended family because they don't do TV, social media. They all hunt and fish. It's a tight family. On Sundays, they're all together eating barbecue. So he's got kids playing and everything like this, and the wife is always cleaning, she and cooking wild game, and she gets on Monday is when she noticed and this is after the shooting, a couple other incidents that happened. After the shooting, he took a dozer and cleared every tree around his house and put stadium lights on a tree, and that place stayed lit up at night. But after this little extended, family over for the weekend, she was going to, do her normal cleaning. And on the back glass that was already clean, no prints, but a face print on the top of that back glass for the door. They used to have no blinds or anything, but after that shooting, they put blinds up all over the place except for the back door. And where the Cupid's bow on your right here was 6 feet 1 inches off the ground on that window. But that's also where you would look down to see in if you was looking in the back window.
Right. Yeah.
And during the testimony, because I recorded probably an hour and a half of his testimony, and when I asked him during the shooting, because he had a face print on the side of that Suburban he was telling me about, and I asked him if that was the same print that was on the back door, and he says, no, and his wife interrupted and said, no, it's the same. It's the same. So that took us down that road where Cliff was there. We pulled 7 samples that went to, he's got them in his museum. But this started everything from Doug wanting to get that white waxy residue. And that's where I got Shelly involved. Shelly, Covington, Montana.
Yep.
Always got her DNA kits and very professional. So there's some footage of her and Cliff,
Yeah, I mean,
double mask,
okay.
double gloved, and
You're kind of leaving off the part.
This face print.
The guy gave you the whole door.
I got a close up, and you
Michael,
could see that it's swiping, and it's almost as thick as Vaseline. The oils from it.
Yeah,
it's pretty amazing to sit there.
Can you hear me,
be
Michael?
part of all that. But
can anybody hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I thought I was going crazy. Michael?
Okay, this is me again. I have to exit out.
Can you hear me?
No. I don't think he's in it. We had this issue earlier too, so
oh darn.
He's got to reboot.
Anyway, we get to tell the story, but the guy actually he took the whole door off, the whole sliding door, and gave it to Michael, and they drove the door down to the conference, and then Cliff and Shelly and Michael collected the Albert Vernix off it and did like prints. They lifted it. So, and we're still dealing with that. So, what are your thoughts on this fingerprint stuff, Marvin?
Well, I mean, Alton Higgins has discovered handprints up in Oklahoma. Michael's experiences there with those secretions. I don't see any problem with it. I believe it's another valid means of testing to see if these things exist or not. If we can validate species through a bodily secretion, wouldn't that be preferable to the other, method?
Yeah, because it's 3D evidence. You have the latent details. You have the chemical compounds in the oil, the sebum, which is different in every great ape, has a different sebum signature, including humans. We have chemicals in our sebum that gorillas don't have, as an example. And then you have the latent, like I said, but then there should be sloughed off DNA, skin cells.
Yes, absolutely.
It should be the whole enchilada. And we're having trouble getting, we're living in a real weird world now ever since the vid. Labs all of a sudden got real woke. They want research. They want DNA submitted under a research project from a scientist. They're refusing to take single samples. And so if anybody has ends with a DNA lab, please get a hold of me. I mean, you would not believe what I've been going through to try to get, other labs involved. Yes, we have North Carolina State doing testing, but that's not going to be good enough. We need to retest some of these things. My goal was always to have like 4 or 5 labs confirm the results, right?
Yeah, as many independent from each other.
Right. Yeah. Michael, now that you're back, can you hear me? No.
I'm guessing not. He's probably texting me
too. He's texting Jeff. Okay. Oh, you gotta love live podcast. As long as I see Adam smiling, we're good.
Yeah, I had connection issues last time I was on, so I get it.
You know what's funny is people pick up on Adam smiling too, because it's first thing. I got to tell this story real quick. Adam was part of a TV crew when we were shooting a pilot, and there were 2 Adams that were there in the crew, and we called this one Smiley Adam. That were there in the crew, and we called
Oh, I muted him.
What was that?
I muted Mike. That was Michael playing from his phone. I just muted him.
Oh, I gotcha. I heard myself. Okay, but anyhow, so Adam, your smile is infectious.
You do have a good smile, Adam.
Yes, it is Smiley Adam.
Can't confirm.
And I'm not going to say what we call the other Adam. But I will use one word. Crack was part of the. Let's see. Well, there's another word in there somewhere called butt.
Gotcha. I've got a question for Marvin. Can I ask it?
Yeah, please.
Great. Marvin, what was the first instance that got you thinking about Bigfoot? I mean, like you were a hunter or probably something beforehand, and then all of a sudden, what was that first thing that said, there's something else out there?
Yeah, what was your light bulb moment?
Yeah.
Well, the light bulb moment, like I said, my entire childhood was spent hearing tales of these things locally. So my indoctrination to it was from the age of consciousness forward. But the thing that really tripped the trigger, and what you're probably asking, was a 2005 incident. At a place known only as the Bridge. We can't disclose the location, but in a very remote part of southeast Oklahoma, the only way to cross a creek that was a major tributary to our Boggy Creek was a low water crossing, and there wasn't a slab or anything there until 1975. But in 2005, my significant other and I were camped at this area. And from the wind was out of the south. It was in September. The creek was slightly up. It was about waist deep to me, and I'm 5'8", so that's probably not that deep. But on the north slope coming down into the creek, we could hear what sounded like a bulldozer. I mean, we're not talking about an armadillo either, the phantom mentis of the woods. But this was huge. And it crossed the creek in 3 sloshing steps, pulled itself up the bank, and broke a tree limb in the process. And it was the only time in my life I have ever left an active campfire. I turned around to her to say, get in the truck, just as the door slammed. And we left rather hastily. I came back the next day and found some tracks, and the tree limb broken. And thank God the fire had died out. But that's what started me in earnest.
That'll do it. That's a scary moment. Yeah.
Michael's got his mic muted, but maybe he's back.
Can you hear us, Michael?
Do it. That's,
nope.
We can hear him though.
Yeah, I think he's got his phone on.
It's funny that our show is on that delay.
Yeah. Well, that's an amazing story. Thank you, Marvin.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So, Jeff, you haven't asked Marvin any questions. I love you, Marvin. I just think you're amazing. I really do.
This has been great talking to you. Yeah, I do.
You're amazing. It's just something about your demeanor that we need in this mystery. You really should go a little more public, because I really think that you offer a lot of like I said, it's kind of a level-headed. How would you describe it, Adam?
Just insightful,
and
more of a scientific approach.
Yeah,
to
right.
His academic background.
Yeah. You kind of remind me of Jeff Meldrum.
I knew Dr. Meldrum. We had talked about some prints I had found. He was quite an individual. I really respected that guy.
Yeah. I miss him literally every day. That's the whole thing is just crazy nuts. Jeff, do you have any questions for Marvin?
Gosh, well, I can see why your students liked you so much. I think you should just do YouTube videos on folklore. That'd be great. I'd watch that.
Yeah. How many podcasts have you done, Marvin?
This is the second.
Oh wow. Well, you're good at it. You should do more.
yeah, definitely should.
I kind of want to get a cowboy hat now too. So
yeah,
I couldn't find mine. I knew they had theirs. I couldn't find mine.
I'll buy you one, Adam, but it won't be very big. yeah, size 1. Okay, what was I going to say? Do you think these things are capable of hurting people, or do you think that they're pretty benign and just do a lot of blustery intimidation?
Well, we don't have a lot of reports of actual injuries, do we? Let's let the record speak for itself. No, I think they are capable. Yes, I mean, I've been on the business end of a mama bear, and they are definitely capable. Why wouldn't a Sasquatch be capable under certain circumstances of inflicting massive bodily harm? Yet we don't see that in this part of the country, at least. But Chester Moore once said that they have a more aggressive tendency here, and I believe that because I have definitely been intimidated, and so have many of my colleagues and friends. Uh, why they do not become more adversarial, I don't know. Are they capable of it? Absolutely. I believe that they possess a level of intelligence that allows them to know that they can intimidate us. And think of it like this. A Sasquatch is like any other creature in the wild. It has to conserve energy. So if I can throw a rock or two at you or growl or make a loud holler and you'll leave, I haven't expended nearly so much energy as if I physically attacked you.
Yeah.
So
Plus,
that's
it's much safer.
Oh yeah, and they always seem to want to be elusive. They don't want that physical contact, though. I have been rushed, and it's a humbling experience. But
Why do you think? Why do you think that? Do you think that is part of their survival strategy to just steer clear of us? Um, why is it that they're so? They're very much like a black bear, in that the black bears operate on fear. They grew up, they evolved with saber-toothed tigers and, things a lot meaner than them. And so they learned to climb trees and do. Black bears are good at bluff charging too. They do a lot of blustery stuff. And Bigfoots do a lot of blustery stuff.
So do apes. Most apes do that too.
Yeah, apes do the same thing, like gorillas. They do. They're so powerful, but they'll pound and run. Have you guys experienced what I call the grand finale, where they're kind of around and maybe they're doing little things, almost, like throwing rocks and kind of let you know they're there, and then they'll do something big in the middle of the night, and then they're gone because they just run. They just pound and run, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
I've had it happen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they will
share.
I would tinker around, as I call it, a rock here, a distant wood knock.
Right.
And then a little bit more activity, and then something really dramatic, like at that bridge I was telling you about. A friend of mine was a student, Taylor Broom, and I were there at that particular location where there'd been multiple sightings. And not a lot had happened that night. We were aware that something was around, because of little things like that, noises in the woods. But the culmination of the night was, and I've still to this day yet to figure out how this happened, but this thing impacted the bridge pillar with such force that the sound was deafening, and it lingered. It reverberated and echoed. And then it was all over, as you say.
Yeah. Yeah, I found that so often. I mean, I've probably experienced it like 20 times where there's this grand finale. It's the big pound on the cabin. God, boom, and then they're gone. And I've told other people on what they're definitely gone now. And they won't come back. Once they do that, they're gone.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it frustration they couldn't get us to leave?
I don't know. They do a grand finale.
When we were up at Spooky Mountain, they kind of wood knocked when we went into the place, and then they wood knocked when we went out.
Yeah.
So I think they have scouts and stuff too.
Well, yeah. Is that something too you both agree with? I know Michael can't hear us. He's watching.
Michael, put your thumb up if you can hear us.
Well, he's on delay.
I think he
watching
can,
the
and
show.
a delay. Yeah.
He's watching the show, and he's getting a delay.
You can hear us.
Yeah,
good to have you here still.
Yeah. We're glad you're here, Michael.
Yeah.
I'll ask you a question, and then you can just raise your hand when you're ready to answer it. Okay, how's that? Because there's like a minute delay. Okay. So, have you guys ever experienced the multiple member, like families, family members talking to each other? A wood knock here, and then something answers off in the distance.
I
Marvin?
absolutely, yes, and the bridge again. How fortunate. The researcher from Sulphur I was telling you about, Michael Cottrell, we call this the round robin night. It was absolutely phenomenal. He had 2 sticks. We'd been in the creek and we'd found 2 beaver sticks that the beavers had chewed the ends from. They were about 4 and 5 feet long, respectively, and brought them with us. And Michael stood in a cleared area and put one stick on the ground and held it with his hand and tucked the other stick and whacked it. And from up the ridge, we heard an accompanying wood knock. And then downstream, we heard a wood knock. He repeated it, the wood knock on the ridge, and then the wood knock downstream. He repeated it again, the wood knock downstream, and then wood knock from the ridge. And that was the end of the communication, if you want to call it that. Yeah. The round robin. I'd forgotten that. I'm glad you reminded me.
Yeah, it's just such a fascinating. We get a lot of audio recording. We had some more sent to us from Minnesota, but there's just so many wood knocks. And then somebody from New York sent a whole bunch. And in New York, they were getting this creature gets real upset when it hears a car approaching, does all sorts of crazy stuff. And then after the car leaves, it does it again. It goes crazy, throws a fit from the sound, get irritated. But when they have a recorder there, they're capturing all of this upset behavior, bending and with branches and sticks and just kind of throwing a temper tantrum, which is so fascinating that things that happen when a car drives by that we never know about. Like the motorcycle story from Greg Howe. That was incredible. There was a guy revving his motorcycle, Marvin, from across the way, and Greg was observing a Bigfoot throwing a temper tantrum. Every time this guy would rev his motorcycle from across the way, it was irritating this creature. And he was afraid to do anything. He was just frozen watching this Bigfoot just freak out over the noise. I mean, it's just a great story.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Yeah. I don't know what episode that was. What, only 3 episodes ago?
Something like that. Yeah, 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, maybe you can put up the link to that show if people want to see it.
It's one of my favorite stories.
Yeah, it's one. Yeah, you heard it firsthand, didn't you?
Yeah.
Down when you were down south, Greg told you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was he's an ex-sheriff. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a lot like you, Marvin. Do you think that we're going to solve this mystery at all? Do you think it's many years away yet, or do you think we're getting closer with all the new technology?
I think that it has been within reach on several occasions and yet still remains just outside our grasp. And with all of our recent technological innovations and as much technology and science as the NAWAC has used and continues to use, from what I understand, I'm not in the group any longer, but I have many friends who are. And from what I understand, that they've employed even more technology. It still seems to be just beyond our grasp. And Doug, I think it should probably stay there. The species seems to flourish on its own. It doesn't need a lot of intervention at this point.
Right.
And mankind needs a mystery to chase.
Well, you definitely have a good point there. Do you think if there was official taxonomy and acceptance, do you think that the government or whoever the powers would be would set aside more land? We lost.
We lost them both.
We lost them. Well, there they gone. See, this is the advantage of having 2 guests, Jeff.
Yeah, no kidding.
I call them ping pong guests.
Let's try Michael again.
So, Michael, just raise your hand anytime you want to talk.
Yeah, he's having technical issues. Yeah.
What is going on?
Yeah,
Everything was
internet
good during the
games.
camera check
I mean,
too.
these
We
are
did a
cell
test.
phones that they're using. They should be a lot more dependable than that. Oh, can you text them? Tell them to reboot their phone. That could fix both their problems. Just tell them reboot their phone, shut it off, and power it up again.
Have you tried turning it on and off again? All right.
Yeah, send them both a message here.
While they're gone, I just wanted to let the viewers know that yes, if you take a thermal camera and point it at even an audio recorder, it does have a heat signature.
Yeah.
We lost one of our audio recorders on a tree, and we just used the thermal to scan the trees, and we found it.
Wow. Oh, really?
Yeah.
So how much heat was coming off? Quite a good signature.
Enough to see it.
Yeah.
Enough to know it was there. Yeah.
So maybe everybody that goes, oh, they can sense electricity, maybe the batteries are heating up too. When they dissipate, the batteries do produce heat.
Yeah.
All batteries do. Lithium ion does, lead acid does, and these alkaline batteries heat up.
So
can you do that, Adam? Maybe do a test and see what kind of current has to come off a AA battery, even to see how much heat. I mean, a cold battery that's not dissipating should be cold, right?
Right.
Should be.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not.
If the circuit is incomplete, it's not doing anything.
Right.
It's just stored energy.
But I know that's stored, but maybe there's still some kind of a little light heat signature there. You wouldn't think there would be.
Batteries in the freezer to make them last longer, right? At least in the old days, we did that.
Yeah. So why don't you just test it?
So
and next time we talk,
one more thing to do.
Just test it. Just put on your list.
Dude, I've been coding all day still. I'm still working on that other project.
That's right. You're working on the audio project.
Yeah.
Michael.
Is he back?
Unmute your mic if it's muted.
No audio.
No audio. Well, can you hear me? Not if you can hear me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You can hear us.
So just raise your hand when you want to talk.
We got no audio from him.
His microphone's not on.
Here comes Marvin.
And here's Marvin.
All right.
Hello
I
again.
have no idea what happened, fellas. I apologize.
No, it's not your fault. It's just the technology.
Technology.
Michael, you could always try just doing audio only. I don't know.
Or just use your phone.
Or just call us. How's that going to work, Jeff?
No, I don't. I don't have you muted. He sent me a text saying I have you muted. I do not.
Oh.
No, I do not have you muted, sir.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on. Why? It's just we've never had this happen, have we, Jeff?
No, this is a new one. this is a new challenge.
Well, the fact that I'm working and Adam's working and we're all using the same software, I don't think it's the software.
I think it's their connection right now. So it's tricky. Marvin, you there?
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk more about this lack of don't discover it. Do you think there's any value though in proving its existence, and how would that hurt or how would it help? I mean,
well, this is in my mind what happens when it is proven,
right?
Through whatever means, the creature would likely be protected.
Right.
And
of course.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, it's obviously a good thing. So it's pro and con situation. But unless you have the proper creds, you're not going to be researching Bigfoot any longer.
Oh, I see. Yeah. You'll have to have a permit.
Thanks, Jeff.
Oh, there we go.
Michael!
I didn't have you muted. I don't know what was going on.
Michael, don't believe Jeff.
Don't touch anything. Whatever you do, don't touch a thing.
Don't touch nothing. All right.
Good to have you back.
I've asked you a million questions, Michael. Sorry about all that. What do you think? Would you like to see Bigfoot officially recognized?
I don't know. I kind of enjoy what we do now.
Yeah.
I think that may ruin what we do now.
Yeah.
I mean,
anytime the government gets involved with pretty much anything, it gets kind of messed up.
I'll be honest. I can care less really about proving the existence to the government, but it more or less us coming out and showing each other, hey, look at what happened.
Yeah.
I enjoy that. So
I want to know what it is. I don't care about proving it. I have no desire to be the guy who proves anything. I just want to know what the heck it is.
Okay, so we all agree we all want more knowledge. Marvin, you want more knowledge, correct? Way more knowledge.
Yes, sir. That's why we do what we do.
Yeah, and I know Michael does, and I do, and I know Adam does. It would be nice to see. It would be great to like, just if like 50 of us could get together and have one tranked and get blood samples and do all, run it through an X-ray machine and, just to kind of see how it all works. But that isn't going to happen.
I guess I never really thought about it, but if it is all of a sudden announced that acknowledge that it's real, think of all the yahoos that would be tramping through the woods trying to see one and destroying habitat and making a mess. And I never really thought about that until just now. And maybe we're better off not proving it. Who knows?
Well, with AI right now, even if we get footage, there's going to be, half the people out there that say, oh, they're just fake that, So I always tell my friends, it's like, hey, at least you guys will believe me. Maybe, I know that no one else will.
And Kim just had a great comment. Kim says, I've met the greatest people since I started connecting. And I agree. This is a great community. I've met so many people here that I just thoroughly enjoy being around and talking to. So I think it's a win-win. I think we're pretty cool where we're at. But I do want to know more.
There's a question for you, Michael. Texas Bigfoot Ranger. Have you ever had any reports in Paris Cooper area?
Oh, Tom Biscardi, I think he's got some stories out of Paris, Texas.
Okay.
Tongue in cheek. So we just did a Alexander Petikoff. We just did a deal with him, and that was southeast Oklahoma. But there's some stuff coming up. Caddo, all of East Texas. What sent me down the rabbit hole was East Texas. I'm a Texas guy, and there's woods that I hit in East Texas. But yeah, there's stories there. Cooper, especially. You get off into them areas out south of any of them dams, them contributaries to the lake over there. That's got a history.
So it does. It does have a real history. Correct? Hello? Oh.
Yep.
I don't
there
think.
He is.
Oh.
I think there he is.
Marvin?
Yes.
What do you think they are? Okay, so we haven't proven anything, but what's your kind of best take? And if you were a betting guy, had to bet, what would you bet on? What kind of creature are they? Human?
I've run that back and forth in my mind for a quarter century. Of course, I always adhered to the principle that they were some sort of a relic species and descendant of Giganto. And the longer I look for these things and study these things, the more I realize they don't fit in any little pigeonhole like they should, nomenclature-wise. For instance, what we talked about earlier, the quadrupedal travel, the bipedal travel, the morphology of the foot, and from what we've learned from Elton Higgins' monograph, handprint evidence, it appears that the thumbs are not rotated like ours. They just missed the mark of human. They just missed the mark of ape. So I think that they are their own species. They are something that the tree of evolution didn't bring to fruit. They're an attempt to move the ball forward between ape and man, but they're stagnant at what they are, but they're highly specialized.
Yeah. Could you give me a laundry list? This must be something you've thought about. I always call, some of the things they can do is super ability. They can we hear they run really fast. They climb hills really quick and efficient. They obviously have great strength. And and they do other things.
Possible cloaking, possible mind.
Yeah, what do you
speak.
think about some of that kind of wooey stuff?
Well, as odd as it sounds, I've experienced some of the wooey stuff.
Okay,
It's awfully hard to put a handle on the wooey stuff, isn't it? I mean, how do you back
right.
that up? Do I think that they travel between the dimensions? No, I don't. Uh, do I think that they have capabilities beyond those which we attribute to them? Yes, I do. Like I said, they're an enigma. It's a total enigma. They don't fit any niche. And with that in mind, how is it possible for you to go into these situations with an empirical, rational thought process and not have that somewhat swayed by some of the extraordinary things that happen? So, are they smoke and mirror creatures? I don't think so. I think they're physical creatures, but they do have some extraordinary capabilities that puzzle me.
Do you want to? I mean, is there any kind of thing that stands out for you on one of their abilities?
Well, there's always been, and I've heard this from many sources, that they mimic other animals. Well, the wounded rabbit call,
right.
that's pretty bizarre. But other animals are able to mimic other animals too, aren't they? And I'm a fair mimic of other animals, and I have engaged crows and owls and squirrels and things and verbalizations and got them to sound off vocally. Uh, is that a natural ability that they have? I would say so, much more so than a supernatural ability. But I will relate my woo story, and I hope I won't tell who I was with because this guy is not retired. He's still in education and in a small rural community in southeast Oklahoma. So it probably wouldn't do his reputation any good if I identified him. But we were at the graveyard. And we were sitting there in total darkness. We were descented, we were wrapped in camouflage, cloaking, and we didn't even have infrared. We were just basically sitting in the middle of the dark in some dense woods, and we could hear something circling us. And as it circled us and came closer to our location in a circular fashion, tightening the circle as it were, it got to the point to where we were becoming quite concerned. We were alarmed. And I said to my friend, I said, that is coming closer with every pass. We should probably light it up soon. And he said, let's just wait. And I had a shotgun with me because in that brush, the hogs are horrible and you can easily be injured by hogs. And so we always carry shotguns, brush guns. And this thing was getting closer and closer with every revolution until it was mere feet from us and stopped and approached us. And
Wow.
I shouldered my weapon and I told this guy who had a powerful spotlight, I said, when I say now, light it up. And he said, are you going to shoot it? And I said, yeah, I think I will because I'm a bit scared. That thing was probably 10 feet from us. He lit it up and nothing was there.
Hence your strange moment.
Yeah. And I mean,
Yeah.
if that to me was woo. I can't explain.
Did you look for blood spore?
We looked everywhere. We looked for everything. We went back for days and searched the area.
Wow.
We found nothing, not even a track. We could see where something had physically orbited our location in a tightening pattern. That was evident, but no visible tracks, no discernible hair sample, nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, it would have left, hair. How positive are you guys were on target?
Pretty sure.
Percentage? Do you want to throw a percentage on that?
90.
Okay, that's pretty good. Good odds. Yeah. Have you ever been like bum rushed and there's nothing there? I have. By a campfire, just you hear like all this like an elephant charging at you.
Yes. An individual from Texas, another educator, named Mark Porter and I were at a location on a tributary to our Boggy Creek, 2:33 a.m. one morning in the fall. It was fall break, actually, around Thanksgiving break. And we had been there for hours upon hours and got to the point where we were just about to hang it up. And up out of the creek came a bounding figure directly toward us. And it happened so fast we couldn't get a light or an infrared scope going, anything. And then it peeled off to the north uh, and slowed down. And it was out of light range by the time either of us could get a light on, so we never saw what it was. But oddly enough, it continued to the north, and Mike Waldie was there, as a matter of fact, at the Spring House.
I'm sorry, I don't know who that is.
Oh, Mike Waldie? Yeah, I'm
No,
trying to
I've never heard of him.
Yes, there are many instances of traumatizing experience that are Mike Waldie related.
So what does Mike look like?
Well, I've never had a clear sighting yet.
I haven't. He's elusive.
Yes,
Is Mike? Is this?
I heard there's like a
more
trail
wool,
of.
or
I heard there's a trail of testosterone that just leaks off him onto the ground.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's not called Macho Mike for nothing.
Macho Mike. Sorry, Mike. I was giving you crap, man.
Oh, I'll get some too before it's over. Trust me, I know.
I already gave you crap after about 10 minutes after I met you. I was giving you crap on the phone.
That made me feel right at home, Doug.
Yeah, I was already giving you crap. Oh my God.
It's brutal around the campfire.
Yeah, gotta have fun. Gotta have fun.
You have to have waiters.
Oh, yeah. So, okay. We've covered all sorts of stuff, including this, this woo thing. What other, you hear about their speed, like immense speed. People are in the gliding walk. And I've attributed that to a very complicated, 5-axis gait that they do that I've studied for many, many years. That's what I attribute it to, but other people attribute it to the fact they're floating above the ground, and you know what I mean. There's no end to it, and I who am I to say I'm right and they're wrong? I can't. But I do know the films I've studied. There's something going on complicated with their gait.
Yeah, I've watched Grover Krantz and Dr. Meldrum. Others have touched on that gait, elaborated on it. I can tell you an experience that 3 men from Texas had.
Okay.
About half a mile from this graveyard, the largest watershed reservoir in southeast Oklahoma. It's over 40 acres. Is there at the head of the creek where we often research. That's a tributary to Boggy, and it was an older gentleman. His son in his 40s and the teenage grandson. They were on the dam of this lake early one morning, just at sunup, and said this thing crossed out from some brush. He said it was saplings and stuff across an open field and then into thick cover. And he said the field was probably 70 yards wide, and the thing covered that distance effortlessly and in just a few steps in seconds. And he put it in the context of, how cross country skiers look. Yeah. He said that's the way it looked. It didn't bob and stuff like we do when we walk. Mm-hmm. And so that the thing that Jerry and I observed through the FLIR had a very fluid movement like that.
So what did you observe through the FLIR, and did you record that?
No, we weren't able to record.
You watched it, but what did you see exactly?
What I saw when I got down the hole into the clearing area, which was, I don't know, 15 yards diameter maybe. This thing was at an angle to me. It wasn't a perfect profile, but I wasn't looking at its rear. But as it was walking away from me and to my left, I was more able to observe its ambulation through its hindquarters. And it was, you've watched bear, you've seen bear traversing, and they up and down. You know what I'm saying? As they're going along on all fours, they're up and down. This thing wasn't. It was steady, and it was moving quickly on all fours, very fluid motion. And I believe Jerry said that when he observed it in bipedal, that it was just as good. Very graceful. Everyone I've talked to
Yeah.
that's had a sighting say that these things are very, very agile and very graceful and very fast. And your 5 points there that you were discussing earlier would accommodate that, wouldn't it?
Right. Yeah, not only do you have the compliant gait, which would help smooth it out, but I've mentioned this so many times, but many years ago, back in the 80s, I was studying Peruvian horses, the way they walked, and they're a mountain gated horse. They are bred to be a very smooth ride, no bumps, right? And they're bred to climb mountains. But years before I was interested in Bigfoot, I was interested in Peruvian horses' gait because it's so complicated and so cool. And so I was filming it, in high speed camera, high speed shutters. I was analyzing it, and it's complicated. But then when I finally started getting, there was that part where the Patterson creature is walking. It's farther away, and it's walking away where you see it from the back. And between that and a few frames of the side, you could put it together what it was doing. And it's dead on to a Peruvian horse, dead on. And that's a naturally gaited horse. They're not taught to gait like that. So if you want to check, anybody just go on YouTube. There's all sorts of videos on this. And that is exactly how, if you just look at 2 of the legs on the horse, don't look at all 4, you'll get all confused. Just watch the back legs or the 2 front legs, and you'll get the exact walk of the Patterson creature. And that's my best light bulb moment I can share tonight.
That is a light bulb moment, and I will do that as soon as we're off here, probably.
Yeah, it's really fascinating. And you might have to sift through a bunch of videos, or you'll find the right one, and you'll go, and then go back and look at the Patterson footage. And if you really start looking at the angles and how it's basically a swimming motion. It's not just walking with a compliant gait, which is why everybody's just written the Patterson, or many people have, it's a hoax. Okay, fine. So tell me who thought of this 5-axis gait that they also included in that fake footage. And why would they? Who are they going to say, oh, gee, well, somebody 50 years from now is going to be studying that gait. So we better, it starts getting ridiculous.
Well, if the truth is the way they have presented Roger Patterson to be, I doubt he looked 5 decades into the future.
I kind of doubt it. Yeah, I kind of doubt it.
And then all these reports, that you've seen where they're so smooth and they move so fast and cover so much ground. There's no way a guy in the costume could do that.
It's
just not even possible.
There's a list as long as my arm, that just points against it. Now, could I say with 100% certainty? Probably not, but I've gone to some pretty great lengths, including offering Bob $1 million at one point.
Really?
Bob, yeah, I offered him $1 million because my network was on the phone with me, and I said, "Hey, can we get Bob offer him $1 million to tell us how this hoax was, perpetrated on the public, and then we'll do a show on how it was done." That's all I have to tell Bob. If he takes the money or agrees to take it, then he's going to have to do an hour show on how, and tell all. Bob goes, Doug, I'd love to take your money, but let me just tell you again what happened. He didn't even pause. There wasn't even a moment of thought, right? Okay. Now, that doesn't prove anything, but it doesn't hurt anything.
Well, it proves that $1 million won't buy Bob.
No, $1 million ain't buying Bob. No. And that was back when $1 million was really worth $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of money.
It's still $1 million.
Yeah, but it's worth about half of what it was back then when I offered it.
Yeah.
And my point is, once again, it doesn't prove anything, but you get this litany of evidence. It just gets so piled up, and you get no red flags other than people going, well, we found this, we did this. I was the guy in the suit. Every few years, it's some guy in the suit, and then just duplicate it. Show us how you did it. Do it now with modern materials. You can't. It's like, I always tell people the analogy is like, let's put Adam in a tiger suit. I'll make a really nice suit with stripes and teeth and the helmet or whatever, the head part. We'll get him on all fours, and then we'll film him, from far away with a 16 millimeter camera. And then we're not going to be able to tell it's not a real tiger. You're going to know it's a suit is a suit.
A suit is a suit.
There's just nuances that you cannot duplicate. You see a video of a bear, that's a real bear. You see watch a movie like what was that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio where he's attacked by the grizzly?
The Revenant.
Revenant. And that's got a really high-end animation. Even then you go right instantly, oh, it's animation. You just can't. Fake is fake, real is real.
The second the Colorado Train film came out, I'm like, nope.
No, you could see it. It's like stovepipe legs, and it doesn't. It's like no. And so you have red flags, and there just isn't any. I did everything I could to debunk the Patterson footage because it's obviously the goal of any time you're going to research a creature or a piece of footage, you're going to try to debunk it. And I did everything. And the more I tried, the more I realized I was looking at a biological creature. There's no way. I mean, it's like, oh, there's a new tendon I just see. It's amazing. It flexes or it lengthens and shortens at the right stroke. You see this, you see that. I found the hernia on the thigh, in the upper thigh. People, well, it's just a wrinkle. No, it's not. I took it to surgeon after surgeon, and they look at it and they go, oh, yeah, that's a femoral hernia. I fix those all the time in my practice. And that's, they would tell me the stories about how, like, it's common in females because they get it in their crotch area during pregnancy. And then I'm like, oh, Patty's got engorged breasts. Isn't that amazing? And those are the things that, in other words, everything I did just kept pointing towards it being a biological creature. And once again, for all those people, I could be wrong because I wasn't there. I wasn't there, and I put my trust in Bob and the footage. So that's my piece. And until I see this doc, I haven't seen anything. Until I see the doc, who knows? What we're going to see. But I'm expecting personally just to go shoulders shrug. Yeah, what's the big deal? I see this kind of stuff, and they were practicing. Well, you could reframe afterwards, trying to duplicate it to see whether it was faked by whoever was financing it. I could absolutely see doing that before they invested more money in four-walling it to make sure they didn't end up with egg on their face, that they tried to duplicate it. I could see that happening. I could see them also thinking, oh, maybe we could make a full feature film out of this. I could think of a million scenarios why they would film something that's similar, but from what I've heard, especially from Bill Munns, other than he calls it the walk is similar, but I think that's just a compliant gait that they're all observing, which is just bent knees. Well, that's easy to do. Anybody can walk like Groucho Marx, right? And with bent knees, but try to do the whole enchilada, that's a whole nother story.
Well, Bill Munns also made a really interesting observation that if it was a mask, the person inside the mask would have had to have had the frontal lobes removed from the
right. Brain. Yeah, because the head won't even fit from the eyes backwards. Patty's head slopes like this. Mm-hmm. There's the head. They would have to have a high forehead. That's why you always see a high forehead on every high end. Like look at the Jack Link's Bigfoot. You see the high forehead.
Doug, how many costumes have you had made for Monster Quest?
Oh, plenty, because it was all just for B-roll. It wasn't to fake anybody out. It was just B-roll stuff.
Exactly.
And the more realistic it was, the better B-roll we could get. But It all. Let me use the words. They all sucked.
Yeah.
They all sucked. And I'd run into special. Oh, I could build you a good one, and I'd get it, and it would suck. It just looks like a guy in a baggy suit.
If you came out with footage now, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, he's got 3 suits. He's done this."
Yeah, I've got 3. Oh, he was practicing. And it's possible someday we will get footage at him, and we will be accused of hoaxing.
Yeah.
It could happen to you. It could happen to me. It could happen to both of us if we're teamed up on a project.
Yeah.
But I've been trying to get footage forever. We haven't had any luck, but I've had suits made. It's a normal course of business when you're in filmmaking. But could I even consider? I don't care how many special effects whatever team I could put together. There's no way without maybe air diaphragms, to move all these muscles and tendons, with a bunch of solenoids and a remote control, like a big, huge remote control panel, when they build these big solenoid powered monsters. That's what it would take. And it would have to be a suit. That technology wasn't around back then.
Yeah, well, there's so many things that could instantly disprove it. There's so many things that you could just spot and would just instantly prove, nope, that's fake. And it's got to be it's probably the second most scrutinized film in history, next to the Zapruder film.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many things that would just pop out and say, nope, that's fake, and nothing has popped out yet.
Read the
crazy.
Very few people know about the Jeff Glickman report. I believe it's called the Glickman report. This was a guy that was paid big money to debunk it. Somebody just wanted that footage to debunk it. Drove them crazy. They wanted it debunked. They hired Jeff Glickman, a forensic scientist. Guess what? The report got buried because in the end he said that's a real creature. It could not be a man in a suit. That was Jeff Glickman's. I've got the Glickman report here. It's an amazing report. He did everything he could to debunk it. It didn't work. It backfired on the guy that hired him. So, there could be this film and there's a lot of stories and it will never prove it's fake. And if people want to believe it's fake, well, then they always did believe it was fake. You know what I mean? They're always on the fence or believed it was fake anyhow. And that's just some people can't discern apparently a real bear from a fake bear. And that's my, that's my assessment. If you can't tell the difference between a real black bear and a black bear in a costume, which we've all seen, right? Then it's your problem, not mine. Because
I do want to say something about the general public, though.
Yes.
Because I have a couple friends that know I'm into Bigfoot, and they send me these clips all the time, and they're like, they don't realize it's AI or it's fake, and I'm just like, stop sending me these clips. They're just garbage, you know. Yeah. But they say, oh, that one looks really real.
Yeah,
it's like
I know.
People who haven't studied the subject tend to be tricked easier.
Well, maybe some of us, I'm just speaking on a term, but maybe some of us just have a better eye. I'm a wildlife photographer. I mean, that's what I did for many, many, many years. And I just tuned into wildlife and I know they move and don't move. And I don't know. And maybe people just never think about any of this stuff and what differentiates between a fake bear and a real bear. I don't know. So to me, it just seems silly. The whole topic almost seems silly, but if that's what if it makes them happy, that's fine. But as Marvin and Mike said, they didn't go make a hell of beans to the reports and the sightings. They're just going to keep coming in. That's not going to stop them. And it's not going to stop people that have seen one to go, I guess they're not real now. No. It don't work that way. It doesn't work that way. It won't be any whistling past any graveyards. So just whatever, it doesn't matter. You believe what you want, but at least be decent to each other. Don't call people names and disparage people because they believe or you don't believe, or you think it's a hoax and they don't. And there's a lot of that. And it's like, come on, guys, just be respectful, and be respectful to Bob. My God, the guy is, in his 90s. So anyhow, I'm sorry I talked too much. I don't know. I don't even how did we get off on that topic?
Yeah, I got sidetracked.
Because I don't want to even get involved in it until the thing comes out. Then, yeah, I'm happy to. But until it comes out, why should anybody really do too much of it? But there's been so much speculation. I can only go on people that they've seen it. Oh, the gate's exact. Okay, really? You got how many years did you? Oh, you only spent 2 minutes and you made that decision. That's good. Pay some dues. Michael, can you hear us? Hell no, he's not.
Oh no, we lost his audio.
Oh,
again.
we lost his audio. Well, if
you are on me. Oh shoot!
If
He's
he
not
can,
muted.
he can hear us.
There it is.
All right. So we'll wrap this up. But Marvin, it was so cool meeting you.
Yeah,
you as well. All
yeah,
you guys.
this is so nice.
Very pleased to have been here.
Yeah, no, I'm really glad that you took the time, and I really appreciate you doing this at the last moment. Thanks to Michael.
It's awesome meeting you guys.
Michael is so awesome. You're an awesome guy, Michael. I'm glad you're a friend.
I told you he's an undiscovered gem.
There, well, we hear you.
There we go.
What the hell is going on? So anyhow,
I have to turn on that focus rod every time I restart the computer.
Oh, okay.
But
so go ahead and give us your statement. What are your thoughts
on which one?
Whatever I was complaining about.
Well, I believe that they reenacted Bob Gimlin. They reenacted the Patterson Gimlin footage. I think that's all it is. I don't think I think the suit's going to be.
Well,
similar,
Gimlin didn't go with them every time they went out.
Yeah.
So why would they have Gimlin there?
Well, they claimed that they sat right down there next to Bob at that conference and said, "Hey, let's come out with this truth." And Bob says, "Well, okay. Well, that's a double-edged sword. That could go both ways. You ended it right there. She stopped it. That could be very well that, hey, maybe Hieronymus is going to come out and say, hey, man, I wasn't in that film." So
all I can say is get your story straight, people. I've heard so many claims.
And the best yet is you offered him $1 million. Right there.
Yeah, it's certainly a solid.
That story should be out there more. That's pretty significant.
That says a lot, I mean, right there. I don't even.
Well, it wasn't me. I was just putting the deal together between them and him and the TV
but
station.
A dishonest person
the
would have
network
jumped all over that $1 million.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but
when you got network money backing you up, that $1 million is legit.
Yeah, it was legit.
100%.
Guaranteed, because they would have made that back really quick. And they knew it instantly. Like, he answered me really. He was like, hell yeah. Because he knows it's like the most studied film in history. And all of a sudden have somebody come forward and go, oh, this is how we did it.
So I think Bob is 96 years old, something like that right now.
Yeah.
I mean, why now? Why not wait a little while to not just get him run over with accusations again? Why now?
And that it does, I would imagine, it affected him because of the small town that they lived in. It isn't like Bob lived in a big city. He lived in Yakima where, the neighbors, if they took one side or the other, it's uncomfortable.
And then you don't know the background between Patricia and Clint. Maybe she wanted to do whatever just to salvage that relationship before her time's up.
Well, that's the other thing I can add. I knew Patricia very, very well. Like, I talked to her sometimes every night. We just talk. It's, I don't know. I was willing to listen to her. It was interesting. She was married to Roger. There's a lot of history there. And I'd asked her many times, you're sure Roger didn't fake this? She's like, are you kidding? You should have seen him when he came home that day. He was like, it was bouncing off the walls. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff.
You should have recorded a lot of the stuff you did.
And Clint was 12 years old. I mean, I don't even know, how well he knew his father. I know his dad was gone a lot, looking for Bigfoot. But the whole thing is just kind of whatever. And I'm not going to just, really go after them because they very well in their mind think they're doing the right thing. Okay, fine. But I just wish that the thing would be a little more civilized.
Well, and who knows if they're being honestly represented in these stories too? They're not out there saying this. This is people talking about things that they supposedly said. Who knows if that's true?
Yeah, well, it's easy to take film. As an editor, I know you can take sound bites out of context very, very easy by just simple editing. Don't know if they did that, but Jeff called me the next day and was really upset the way he got ambushed. You know, he wasn't upset about the Patterson footage. He was like, that didn't, I mean, I didn't care either. I didn't pay any attention. Because Jeff was just kind of like, God, here we go again with this crap, you know? Because it's crap. Right when I was about to come out with Legend Meets Science doc on Discovery Channel, the Hieronymus story broke, and the executive producer over at Discovery Channel called me and he goes, well, I guess we just got to shelf the show. I'm like, what? And I just kind of he got an earful from me. I'm like, dude, every so many years somebody makes a claim like this, and it just, you know, it's just, don't worry about it. It's going to affect anything, and it didn't. And he was glad. He called me. Yeah, I'm really glad we aired it. But he was, you know, because the public is kind of ignorant on these things.
This too shall pass. This will go out there and it'll be nonsense and people will move on.
Yeah, of course. Of course. And, you know, I'm not going to say anymore. I'm just going to keep my mouth shut until whatever. But I wish everybody well, including the filmmakers of this new doc. I just hope that everybody gets to the truth that they're seeking, and they do it logically, not illogically. So now
they've definitely pushed a hot button for all of us, and I think they're going to make a lot of money because we all want to see it now.
Oh yeah, they're going to make it. No, I don't think so. That won't pay the bills. All the Bigfoot researchers, nah. I don't think they'll pay too many bills. Not really. I don't know.
Oh, I got to mute Michael there. Sorry. All right. Well, we got everybody on stage again.
Yeah, let's.
Should we wrap up?
Yeah, let's wrap up.
Everyone's here. All right. Hang tight, everybody.
Yeah,
don't go anywhere. We'll play our wisdom, and we'll be right back.
It's now time for Untold Radio AM Wisdom of the Week.
Most of what we call insight isn't brand new thinking. It's connecting dots someone else already found. Every story you hear, then one day, something clicks.
And it feels like a light bulb just went off. But that light didn't come from nowhere. It came from paying attention when others were living it first. Good night. We hope to see you all next week. If you like the show tonight, please consider giving us a thumbs up, leaving a nice comment, and most of all, subscribing and hitting the bell so you will be notified when a new episode is dropping. Also, please share this episode. Now back to Doug and Jeff for our wrap.
And I had my fingers crossed that everyone is still here for the wrap. Glad you guys are all here.
We're here.
You there, Doug? No, Doug's muted.
No, Doug's gone. I can hear you.
There we go.
I got it. It was a. Well, I got like 12 mute buttons here at my fingertips, so there's always one that's off. Anyhow, we're gonna get you back, Marvin.
Absolutely.
Michael.
Both of you guys are great.
Yeah, well, definitely. I'd like to get you guys on a round table about some things. So
and Adam's okay too. Yeah.
Adam's all right.
He's all right.
As long as he keeps smiling.
Good to see you, Adam.
As long as he keeps smiling. Do you have any last words, Marvin? Do you want to say anything to our audience?
In closing, I would like to say that I hope the subject never closes. I hope that the mystery remains, if it is solved, and one day it probably will be. I hope it's solved in a way that we don't have the controversy we're having over this PGF film now. I think Doug's advice, let's all be humane. We are humans after all. Let's be humane to each other while we research this mystery.
Yeah, perfect.
Absolutely. I'm going to unmute him. Hopefully we can hear him.
Oh, hey, I can't say it any better than that. Should have let me go first.
Oh, okay. All right. Goodbye, Michael.
I will say that, I don't care to contribute anything to science. If something happens and it does, so be it. But I want the Roger Patterson, Bob Gimlin experience. I want the Ron Moorhead experience. I want the experiences that we keep having, and not to be contaminated by a bunch of people running in the woods and hollering because they do get discovered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was also really good, Michael.
Very well said, sir.
Thank you. And thank you, Adam, for your connecting the dots.
Yeah. That was awesome insight. I love it.
More of us can connect the dots. I mean, it could make the difference between knowing and just wondering. So, all right, stay curious, everybody. We will be back next week with another great guest. I think we're going to do guests from now on, Jeff.
Yeah,
we're going to be back next week with guests.
Yeah.
So anyhow, we love you guys, and
thank you, everyone.
We'll see
Good night.
you all later, and thanks.
Hey, God bless.
I call you up in the middle of the night, been bothered by dreams, ain't feeling alright. You give me comfort, say just give it some time. By the end of our talk, I'm